Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. So I go so the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't saying no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time with things to go off fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. And now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes are killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
So the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep tearing in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMV, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace of her presents and gifts, call me Santa. Claus, I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and picture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing time.
it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Do me a favor, hit that like button, share, subscribe as you're coming in. I hope you're doing well. Chiye Alpha, are you there? I hope you're doing well. Welcome. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. I hope you're doing well. Today is Thursday, 18th of January 2024. January is wrapping up small by small. Oh, hey, just like that. Anyway, welcome back. We have some series of topics to cover today, and no, T, I will not be covering that other topic. I think I'm reserving that for when I don't have to do multiple stories during the weekend. But nonetheless, we're gonna have a big show today. Undefeated, especially when you're covering this Nigerian audience thing. Nigerian people are dramatic. A lot of Nigerians are ignorant. So we have a lot of work to do. Nigerians, we have a way of taking anything that's American in nature. We have a way of taking those things and then going to another level entirely with the madness. So when it comes to social media stuff, I don't think anybody does it better than Nigerians. The trolls are increasing by the day. Our comment area right now is madding, but nonetheless, that's just additional fuel to my fire. That just means we have a lot more to talk about. Okay, I will keep pointing us to the results. The results we're creating are not good enough, and we need to do something else outside of what we've been doing, because clearly they're not working. But like I said, do me a favor, hit that like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. And please do me a favor, help me do a quick shout out to all my sponsors: Mo Fresh, Richie, Life with Natu, Adesua, Film Girl, Tima, Show Mama, Gores Corner, D Love, and Yes TV. You can join our sponsors by simply using the join button on the platform. And by the way, you can download our books for free. So we try to bring as much value as possible. I run out of Get My Marriage Back, so I gotta replace it. Number One Red Flag, and 4 other books. You can download all of them for free at manofprestige.com. 2 books on real estate, 1 book on marketing, 1 book on 2 books on relationship, 1 on marriage. The one on marriage is essentially, if you want to get to know me, my testimony, where do I come from, why do I seem like I know too much. If you want to know why, it's all in the book. Okay, manofprestige.com. Anyway, and if you do end up, please, we're looking for reviews on Amazon and audible.com. And you can sponsor this show or any other single show, or even after replay, you can sponsor for as low as 99 cents. Our goal this month is $300. We're up to $241.61 already, and that's up from $217.52 the last time. So I want to say thank you to all your support, all your like buttons, your share, your engagement in the chat, your actual donations. They go a long way. All the comments, negative, basketballs, you call me Mumu, all of it. I want to say thank you to every single one of those. All right, and again, yes, the books are at manofprestige.com. All right, so I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Do some house rules. D-Love, how far are you there? All right, we do have a big show today. All right, so I want to get right into it. Without any further ado, I'll be back in about 20 seconds.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, let's talk about the 7 rituals for relationships that last. This is something that a lot of people don't pay attention. So again, there's a reason why we started the platform in the first place. Let's not forget that. Okay, we'll catch cruise and do all this kind of stuff and talk about the trendy topics. We'll extract lessons from the trendy topics, but I want to make sure that we're not losing focus of why we're here, which is to help as many people as possible to improve their life and their relationships. So that's what we come here to do. We talk about relationships. We basically talk about relationships, extract lessons from trendy topics, from a self-power, social, seduction, attraction, emotional intelligence standpoint. That's what we come here to do. So without any further ado, I want to talk about the 7. I want to share 7 rituals for relationships that last. Why are we talking about rituals? Well, we're talking about rituals. We should talk about rituals. Okay, so I'm gonna do some quick countdown. I'm getting a lot of questions these days in the DMs. You can DM me questions. You can go to you can search Man of Prestige on Instagram. You can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and of course here. But you can DM me. I check the Instagram DM from time to time, so you can DM me over there. So some of your questions I answer as much as I can, but some of them are giving birth to some of these questions. Okay, all right, so with that being said, 7 rituals for relationships that last. Let's use this to warm up. We do have a big show today. Number 7 of 7 rituals. All right, 7 of 7 rituals. This one right here, you can't skip it. This one right here, you skip it, you collect in your relationship. Active listening. Okay, active listening. What is active listening? I'll just do like a quick summary because I want to just fly through the list, right? Chidima, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. All right, 7 of 7 rituals. Active listening. There is listening. There is listening. I'm hearing you. I hear you, and you're wrong. Right? There's that listening, but there's also active listening, which is you're not just hearing what the person is saying, but you are actively trying to understand where they're coming from. This is going to have to be a ritual. Yes, ritual. Chidima, it's going to have to be a ritual. If it's not a ritual, you go collect. It has to be something you're obsessed with. Obsessed, not obsessed, but obsessed, right? What I mean by obsessed is that you have to be intentional about active listening. Okay, you have to be very intentional about active listening when it comes to your relationship. You have to spend most of the time in your communication or communications listening and actively listening, trying to understand. Now, this is not natural. Okay, this is not natural for any one of us. Most of us, we already have an idea of what we want to say. We have preconceived notions. We have biases. We feel how we feel, and we want to attack every conversation from that standpoint. And then we turn around, especially Nigerian woke people, and then call it communication. You're wrong. That is not communication. That is just talking. You're a talkative, and you're probably going to talk your relationship into a hole. You need to spend most of the time listening. You're going to naturally not listen. You have to be intentional about listening to understand where the other person is coming from. That means a lot of time you just be like, so you're saying, okay, so let me get this straight. Let me review what you just said to me. Just make sure I understand, right? There's no way you're having conversations that way that you're not going to have a productive, effective communication. But most people, what they're doing is they just want to be heard. And what do you do with that information? You need to understand that your partner just wants to be heard. So give them some listening ear, because they probably don't get that a lot. So you do the listening. Okay, gentlemen, if she's doing most of the listening for you, it's not sustainable. You go collect. Okay, I just want you to know that up front. She can try small, but after a while, she goes start the ask like, is this one a man? And then you be like, well, this woman, like, no. You're creating the result you're creating. It is up to you, Chinima says, make it a commitment and habit with dedication. Yes, make it just be anal about it. Like, just say, because again, your natural behavior, being a normal human being, will kick in. You, like everybody else, just want to be heard. Okay, take your focus and put it a little bit on understanding that the other person wants to be heard, and if you give more of that to them, you probably most likely will de-escalate a lot of things. So that's that right there. So the first, and we're counting down, 7 of 7 rituals for relationships that last is active listening. All right, the sixth is the 6th of 7 rituals is active giving. Active giving, not give and take. I'm sorry. I know you've heard that so many times. Give and take. This is a give and take. After all, this is supposed to be a give and take. Is it working? It is not working. Okay, not that give and take don't work itself. The idea of you repeating it to yourself and you're confused and you're arguing with your destiny and you're saying that's what it's supposed to be, it is not working. Take all your focus away from taking, or the idea of give and take, and keep it on actively giving. What does actively giving look like? You go into relationships to give, period, point blank. If you can't give, leave the relationship. You go into a relationship to give. If you cannot give, you're better off leaving the relationship. Okay. And the number one question that I get a lot here, this is a very, very common question. People might say, what about, if I keep giving and giving and giving and this person never seems to reciprocate? This is a good question here. It's like she's thinking about what I'm thinking. Ola, are you saying actively giving is sacrifice over reciprocity, aka managing your expectation? No, is actively giving is almost impossible that you will not receive. It's highly possible that you will not receive anything when you're obsessed with the ideology of give and take. There's an increased, heightened chances that you will receive 10,000 times folds when you focus on giving. Now, let's slow down. Again, you just asked the question, but the way I normally get the question is that, what if you keep giving and giving and giving, and the other person never seems to realize that you too, you're a human being? Great. Give to yourself. Refocus all that energy back on giving to yourself. You thought about buying him a shoe on Amazon yesterday, buy it for yourself until things readjust. Okay? So yes, it is connected to managing your expectations, but oftentimes you might find yourself in a funk, like every relationships will find themselves there, and it just seems like you're the only one that's always giving to this other person. In that space, you are probably off your base, and you probably have unrealistic expectations, and maybe it's not off, but clearly you're not getting the result you're looking for. Refocus all that energy back on yourself, on giving to yourself. Okay, so that way you don't have to worry about. And remember, people mimic the way you treat yourself. They mimic the level of self-love, self-respect, self-esteem you have for yourself. So if you're giving to yourself, they usually just want to be a part of that equation. They want to give to you. So it's a matter of leverage. All right, like your point of leverage is not the ideology of give and take. The after outcome, after result of what you're looking for is, you're talking about what it looks like. It is give and take, right? When you see two partners and they're having a good time, you're talking about the outcome, right? But that's not the leverage. That's not the lever you put to create that. The lever you put to create that is to focus on giving. Because usually when people are complaining about give and take and they're saying give and take, their focus already shifted all the way. Actually, what they're talking about is taking. That's what they're talking about, okay? Yeah, right. So they're like, no, it's time for me to take. I know, but clearly that's not what the reality is, right? So give. You can't give to them. You hate them that much. Give to yourself. Focus on giving, actively giving. All right. So now ritual number 5. Ritual number 5 You took it right out of my mouth. Managing your expectations. What does that look like? There's actually like 2 very simple steps to managing your expectations. Okay. Manage your expectations and give your partner the freedom to express their expectations. Those are the 2 steps contained in managing your expectations, or manage expectations rather, right? Manage expectations means you manage your expectations, your own personal expectations. So that means you don't try to remove your expectations. You're a human being like the rest of us. So you don't remove your expectations because you can't. You have expectations. You're a human being, right? But manage it, right? And give your partner, focus on giving your partner the freedom to express their expectations. Expressing their expectations does not mean you have to fulfill them. You can't anyway. You cannot fulfill all of their expectations anyway, right? So, but when you allow them and you give them the freedom, the environment, and it feels conducive, it feels secure, safe enough for them to express their expectation, really, for the most part, what they're looking for is a safe space where they can feel free to. That's all they're looking for. They're not expecting you to buy them a mansion tomorrow by force. They just want to feel free to be able to express whatever that is. And we could be talking about something that's completely emotional in nature, right? They feel like they should be a partner in a relationship. Like, yeah, that's fantastic. Of course you should be a partner in a relationship. You know what most Indomie generation men are doing? They say, how can you be a partner in a relationship? Like, okay, now she would never tell you, okay? And by the way, she's still actively looking to be a partner, and she doesn't see you as a leader because you don't know how to make her feel safe and space. The same thing is true for ladies, right? Ladies, you say, oh, I want a man to be able to speak his mind. I want a man to be able to speak his mind. But then you talk, every time he speaks his mind, you're like, but I don't. But you're not taking the time to even hear where it's coming from. Well, that's I'm the man. In fact, let me see. There's a video that I might be able to play as an example here. I'll give him the proper credits due. He made a good example of this, but I don't want to butcher the example. I want to see if I saved it. I forgot. I always forget his name. He has a very funny name like that on Instagram. It's a guy that I've seen his video across Instagram a little bit. Let me see if I can find it, because this would be a good example at this point. Let me see. Jesus help me. I hope I saved it. Let's see. Did I save it? Did I save this video? His name starts with SH something something. Nigerian guy is always giving relationship advice on Instagram. Anybody know who I'm talking about? It starts with SH, and there's a P in the name, something like that. Let me see. Let me see if I can search SH. I think it starts with SH. I'm not sure. SH. I don't remember. I thought I saved it. Jesus. Anyway, let's leave it alone. Let me just make the point. The point is that manage your expectations and give your partner the freedom to express their expectation. All right. If you do that, and you make it a ritual, you will create a very harmonious relationship. It will inevitably continue to grow and grow and grow. Everybody will feel safe, and everywhere else will feel dangerous to them. Everywhere else outside of being with you will feel dangerous to them, because everybody else is doing opposite. They have expectations. You're supposed to. Anyway, Chidima says, when a man speaks his mind, he is then called a simp by men and a narcissist by women. Sometimes men just can't win. Yeah. So he wants to, ideally, he should feel safer to be himself around you. That doesn't mean if you start to cross the line of you not feeling safe, then obviously something's got to give. If something has to give, then I personally prefer, because of our social construct, that is a man. Because that's the job of man, to give. He sows seeds and he reaps what he sows. That's the nature of a man. He carries the seeds. But that is not an absolute. There are times that he's not in that space where he can be a man all the time. You don't want him to run to his mama in that moment. That's not what you want, right? So manage your expectations. Give your partner the freedom to express their expectations. Do me a favor. Hit that like button as you're coming in. If you're just coming in, we're just warming up. We do have a lot of stuff to cover today. I want to get this out of the way so that we're not missing out on the lessons we need to learn as we go. All right, so let me see here. Do me a favor. I was saying, do me a favor, hit that like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications as you're coming in. Ritual number 4 of 7. Okay, we're counting down the rituals for if you want a relationship that will last the test of time. Ritual, this is what we're talking about. 7 rituals for relationship that lasts is what we're talking about. We already covered number 7 of 7 rituals, active listening, and then we cover the 6th of 7 rituals, which is active giving. Okay, which means stop repeating give and take to yourself. It's probably bad at that moment already, but give. Actually, you go into a relationship to give. And then if you want to understand the full context of that, you might have to rewind the video later on. Number 5 is 5 of 7 rituals is managing your expectations. We're counting down, and right now we're at the 4th of 7 rituals, adaptive sexual polarity. Okay, people say, well, you should test it before you get into it. No, you don't necessarily need to test it. You just have to be open-minded for a lifetime of growth together. Okay, that's actually the wrong mindset. Oh no, you should not touch it at all before you get. That's also the wrong mindset, because you're probably setting yourself up for failure. That is not the guarantee of anything either. Okay, the sweet spot is always somewhere in between. Okay, you can do whatever you want to do for yourself, for your faith, based on your personal belief. You want to be a virgin, you want to hold yourself, sure, all of that is good. But the key thing here is adaptive sexual polarity. Polarity. You need to be open to changes. You need to be open to evolution. Okay, hopefully not devolution. Right? You need to be open to exploring and discovering more as time goes on. This is a ritual. This is not something you stop because you've had a baby. If she's had a baby, it's time, gentlemen, to step up your game and be willing to give. Focus on giving always anyway. Well, it's an opportunity to give. If she just had a baby and she's trying to rediscover her body back, that's all part of it. Since you were prepared for that, you knew this was going to happen. Maybe in a different form. Maybe it's not because of a baby. Maybe because she was upset. Maybe because he's upset. Maybe because, whatever, adaptive sexual polarity. You need to understand that this is a moving thing, it's a moving target. It's not something you can just say, this is how it works. That's how our forefathers did it. If you have that mindset, you go collect, okay? It will get watered down. It will be dry, sorry. It will just be dry. Nothing going to happen. And you come back here and you say a woman is weaponizing sex against you. And I will look at you and say, and then there will be a woman in the chat that says, it's true, some people weaponize it. And I was like, okay, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Number 3 of 7 rituals for lasting relationships is organic friendship. Organic friendship. This is not something you can force. The only thing you can do with this is to make sure that whoever you're dating from the get-go, that you guys kind of have a friendship. A lot of things are going to fall apart over time. They will fall apart, but if you don't have organic friendship, it can be permanent. If you have organic friendship, anything that falls apart is temporary. Anything that falls apart is temporary. A lot of this is mindset based. These are not things you can use overly obsessed pragmatics to determine. This stuff is spiritual, okay? A lot of it is mindset. A lot of it has to do with a connection beyond the obvious, okay? So organic friendship is basically something you find yourself falling back on a lot when things fall apart. And then you find out that, oh, it's temporary. Oh, we can rekindle things. We are friends, And if you have collected woto in these internet streets, okay, in this Indomie generation, you've collected breakfast a few times. If you have, you might find yourself disagreeing with this. We say things like, oh, I don't want to be friends with my partner because you've had a controlling a controlling partner in the past. So you don't want that kind of obsessive. That's not what we're talking about. Please go back to the books, okay? You need organic friendship. In the first place, what it means is that it's not forced, okay? And if you're somebody that you're not friends with them, everything else will feel safer for you, okay? And then you might end up doing things you're not supposed to do that would kill your relationship. All right, so that's the third of 7 rituals for lasting relationship. The second of running 7 rituals for lasting relationship is self-improvement. Self. Remember, we attack things from a self standpoint. We don't really worry about anything else outside of what you can control, okay? Everybody else do that. We don't do that. With the Prestige family, we don't do that. We focus on what you can control, even including backing off of a relationship. Sometimes you find yourself in a situation you have to back off. You have to leave it alone for a while, temporarily, maybe permanently, right? That's all part of things you can control. They're easier said than done, nonetheless. Sometimes it's going to take some bravery, right? Some courage to make the move that you need to move. They need to make for self, because obviously there are vested interest. It's not always clear, but self-improvement, so you can keep working on your self-esteem, your self-respect level, and your self-love, because people will mimic the same level you have for yourself. So that's a ritual. You need to be reading at least 1 book per month. What? Yes, you need to be reading at least 1 book per month. Okay, and I'm just gonna leave that at that for now. Okay. Number one ritual of 7 rituals for lasting relationship. Number 1 is loving freely. You have to love in a way that it feels like freedom. Okay, you need to love in a way that feels like freedom. If you can't love that way, it's not love, okay? It's probably obsession, it's probably lust, it's probably something else, it's probably, it's not. You need to love in a way that the other person feels free. They need to feel free. They need to feel like it's free will. They need to feel like, oh, I made a decision for myself. If you feel like you force them into it, could it last? It will not last. That's just what it is. Okay? And by the way, you will have enough things around you to blame. You can blame it on TV, Joshua. You can blame it on how the world is coming to an end. You can blame it on what else? The deterioration of women in society or men in society. You find something to blame it on, but really, ultimately, nobody wants to be around you if they have to love and feel like it was forced. That's not love. And this needs to be a ritual. So and loving can be broken down into so many pieces. You can start from, oh, I love you overall, to individual events and around the house and stuff like that. You just have to keep that in the back of mind. At the end of the day, I want my partner to feel like they are part of the picture. They are part of the game. They are part of. They want to be here. You want them to feel like they want to be here. If you want them to be here, regardless if they want it or not, you are. All right, I can't say the word. Okay. You're an abuser. That's what that is. Okay, that's what that is. If you want them to be here just because it's duty, because you said that, because somebody said that in 1960, that's abusive behavior. Stop the cap. That's obsessive, that's controlling behavior, and they might even tell you like, you're right, baby, I do what I'm supposed to do. They will eventually resent you. Okay, now Chien says, why the hell will one not want to be friends with their partners? If you don't collect before, you might just want that to, everything is a frame of reference. If you've had a person that you used to be with and you guys were what you thought was organic friendship, but relationship shows everybody woto, right? So you get into that space and then it ends up ending completely. So what you do naturally is you interpret in your brain that if only I had some space, maybe the person was smothering you, right? Maybe the person didn't know how to give some space, and you've connected that with the friendship, and naturally, as people come up with easy cookie cutter solutions, right? That will make them feel better, short time. So they might say things like, I want a partner, I don't want a friend. They might say things like that. People say that with parenting too. They will say, I want children, I don't want friends. Like, two things can be right at the same time. You don't want children that don't feel like you're their friends. Right? But people will say things like that because it feels better short term. But long term effect is just bad. Okay? Because everything else, there's something that's going to be left with you long term. That's going to be the glue between the two of you, is friendship. It's same thing with parenting. When you get to a stage when your kids are now grown and stuff, and you know the friendship you had with your kids is because they're not your property. They've never been your property, but it's now clear they're not your property, right? And you see a lot of Nigerians struggle with that. They call it woke, even though their result is discombobulated. Anyway, we'll keep talking, Sha. That's the glue that keep the relationship together when the going gets tough. Exactly. My goal this year is to be doing a lot of reading. I've listened to 2 books this January already. Yes, do some extra sometimes. You know, you listen to that book, maybe Ola launched a book. You still listen to an extra one, you know, because that's the journey we're on. And if you think education is expensive, you know, try ignorance, right? That's the saying, right? Well done, Chie. I used to read like I'm drinking water. I need to get back to it. Yes, including Bible. Yes. The Bible is the greatest self-development book in the world. But I think see finish don't enter Bible. People just read it like and they're sleeping and they've already seen that place before. So it's like, you know, that kind of thing. So you need other teachers that have broken it down into different perspectives and things like that, you know. So that's the thing. Obsidian, what's going on? Say on Boogeyman the Devil. I used to read lots of novels. Anyway, let's get to the topic today. I want to know which one of these points that I have given you is your favorite. Okay, we talked about 1, which is 2, self-improvement, 1, loving freely, 3, organic friendship. We talked about this ones. Which one? Number 4 is adaptive sexual polarity. Sex is very important in long-term relationships. Unless there's something medically wrong, it's very important. Okay, at least one person expects it. They think it's important. At least one person. Okay. And that makes it important for your relationship. Managing expectations, right? And then number 6, active giving. Number 5 is managing expectations. Number 7 is active listening. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Number 7 is active listening. So you have it all right there. Let me know which one of your favorite is in all of this. The one that you maybe have not thought about. The one that really got you thinking. Let me know in the comments in the chat area. We do have some other topics to cover. So I'll be back in about 20 seconds.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Whoa, welcome back. All right, so let's talk about the Mommy Z's 4 a.m. cooked story, Pick Me versus Feminist. Let's talk about this one. I know you guys have probably seen other people talked about this maybe over a week ago, 2 weeks ago, but she was still trending today. So I was like, you know what? Maybe it's high time I talk about this. Some people are saying their favorite. Let me see. Okay, 1, 4, and 6. I wonder what 1, 4, and 6 is because I forget very easily. 1 is loving freely. Number 4, adaptive sexual polarity. I like that. 6, active giving. Awesome. Love it. And I see Obsidian says 4 of 7, adaptive sexual polarity. Awesome. Love it. I think that's important too, you know. But yeah, let's talk about Mommy Z's. Do you guys know who Mommy Z is? Anybody know who Mommy Z is? Oh, you don't? If you don't know who Mommy Z is, Mommy Z. If you don't know who that is, do me a favor. Say 1 in the chat. And if you know who that is already, and this is a conversation that you thought we should have had, put a 2 in the chat. Mommy Z on Twitter. She's some lady that got popular, that went viral last week, and you know, it was, you know, I've been listening to it. At one point, I was like, I don't want to talk about this stuff, you know. What is there to talk about, you know? But everybody's still talking about it. So I said, you know, we should talk about it here too. Okay. So I see one. So a few people have seen it somewhere. Okay, awesome. So let me bring us up to speed for those that don't know what we're talking about. There's a small article here on Blueprint NG that did a great job breaking it down, and then we'll talk about what I think. Twitter's Mommy Z, a grass to grace story on blueprint.ng. It says Deborah Olaki, a Lagos-based mother and geoscientist, embarked on a journey she never anticipated when she took to. That's the lady in the one that's right next to me in the pink shirt. Okay, that's what we're talking about right now. All right. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So she never anticipated when she took to Twitter to express a humble Christmas wish for a bedside fridge. Little did she know that this seemingly ordinary request would snowball into a whirlwind of generosity, forever altering the course of her life. It all began on December 29, 2023, when Mommy Z, as she's fondly called on Twitter, shared a picture of the small fridge she wished for. Her heartfelt plea resonated with the online community, but it was a subsequent tweet that set the stage for the unexpected turn of events. In a candid revelation, Mommy Z disclosed that she wakes up at 4:50 a.m. every day to prepare her husband's lunch. A routine sparked by a moment of concern. Her husband, a classroom science teacher named Abiola Adebisi, expressed worry about her not having the life she deserved due to financial constraints. This tweet stirred both admiration and criticism. Right? With discussions about gender roles and marital dynamics unfolding on the platform. However, amidst the debate, a group of like-minded individuals rallied around Mommy Z, sparking a chain reaction of support. Mommy Z, who had initially requested a modest fridge, was soon overwhelmed by the outpouring of generosity from Nigerians. Our contribution flooded in with the notable involvement of companies such as Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NLPCL, in Phoenix, Nigeria, and the National Information Technology Development Agency. NLPLC offered a free. Okay, so I think they skipped something here. Let me see. There was part of the conversation I don't see in this call. I'm just going to stop reading that, okay? So basically, there was an outpouring of love everywhere for her, okay? There was outpouring of love everywhere for her. So, but one of the things that was part of the rhetoric that I've seen is that I think something about some potential work wife was bringing the husband spoon, extra spoon to eat. Am I correct? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Something like that, right? And then she now finally, you know, like, whoa, like extra spoon to eat, bitibao. And then she now said, well, I want to make sure I prepare your lunch for you at 4:50 a.m. I wake up every day and do it before you leave. You know, and that was one of the. Let me see if I can see more because I don't want to butcher the. I want to see if I can quickly find it. Okay. Let's see. That's not what we're looking for. Let me see. Okay, she cooks for her husband despite being okay. So she's also pregnant. Okay, she's also pregnant. I think I might have found it. Let me see. Mommy Z has sent social media users into a frenzy after sharing a clip where she cooked Indomie noodles for her husband. Okay, so she's sharing videos as well. She actually shared a picture. Let me show you what we're dealing with here, right? Okay, so that's her. Okay. And I guess a lot of people were admiring that, right? This was after Indomie company fulfilled its pledge. Okay, so this is after, right? I'm trying to get back to the backstory. Also, as of today, Indomie Nigeria sent some pack of noodles or something like that. All right, and there's a tweet here that I smile all through watching this. So a lot of people are finding her story inspiring. Okay, but there's some hidden stuff here that we need to talk about. We're getting there. Let me see. Okay, all right. There's some hidden stuff here that we need to. As usual, when you see stuff going viral, there's a good chance you might need to go the opposite direction. Let me just warn you right now. Okay, there's a good chance, particularly with regards to application in your personal life. Okay, there's also a post here where she's apologizing or something like that. Nigerians drag her, not Nigerians, I think the feminist, the weirdo feminist on the internet, not the actual feminist, the weirdo ones. Okay, they probably dragged her. Okay, I'm looking at the post here on Linda AKG. It says Mommy Z apologizes after Nigerians dragged her over her recent tweet days after they donated massively to her for waking up by 4 a.m. to cook for her husband. Now, on the surface, as a simple fact of life, there's absolutely absolutely nothing wrong with a woman waking up, choosing to wake up at 4:50 a.m. to cook for her husband. Why would anything ever be wrong with that? Right? But there's more to the story. There's more to it, okay? Mommy Z became the beneficiary of millions. We already know that. I've always been, okay, I think this is the original tweet from, let me see. I've always been too lazy to wake up and get his lunch ready, but the day he told me a colleague brought 2 spoons, there you go. I think I found it. Finally, I found it. This is the actual tweet here. Okay. All right. I'm coming to the chat though because I want to know what you guys think about this. We're talking about Mommy Z now. Okay. This is the actual chat. I've always been too lazy to wake up and get his lunch ready, but the day he told me a colleague brought 2 spoons so he will hit with her, keyword her, was the day I set my alarm for 4:50 a.m. And then somebody said there's a lady that wakes up at 5 a.m. to make her husband lunch for work. Okay. And basically it took the whole world into a frenzy. And that's what we're talking about today. But before I continue, there might be some more details here. Let me come to the chat. All right. Let's see. Oh, that story. I keep saying it, but didn't go into it. Okay. He has entered. Brother Ben has entered the chat. Brother, what's going on, bro? The best wife ever. Vote for Mommy's Biko. All right. Now, when you say the best wife ever, this reminds me of who does it remind? It reminds me of Dotun. I'm not comparing it to Dotun, by the way. It reminds me of Dotun saying that, saying to Tunji T-Bills, ex of Tiwa Savage, saying, yeah, you only did because you have the best, because you have something like that, something like you have a good baby mama, a good woman. Only if T-Bills will tell you his story. But anyway, that's what that remember. The best wife ever. Awesome. Fine woman, troublemaker, Chidima, I see you. Okay. Oh, for real? I'll go check it out. Everyone living in Aja wakes up before 5 a.m. That is a good point, Marriott. We're already uncovering small, right? Does she live in Aja, first of all? Let me make sure before I get to my bed. Does she live in Aja or somewhere around that? Where if she lives in Lagos, everyone kind of wake up at 4 a.m., you know. Context matters, as always, right? All right, so that's one, but somebody confirm it for me. Let me know if she lives in Lagos or somewhere around Aja. We'll get to it in a second. I want to send money to her too, but Ben says she's a better wife. In fact, she got my vote anytime, any day. Why? Why not? Because again, there's nothing wrong with a wife choosing to wake up. In fact, it's applaudable. Like, in fact, let me applaud. Before we continue, I must applaud this woman because we have more to talk about here. All right, so Chinima said it was her husband that brought it to her. Brought what? The fridge or what? Or the story? Braben said Chidima won't wake up at 4:50 a.m. to cook laye. I want to see what Chidima says to that. She didn't hear it from third party. She heard the what? I'm missing something. I've forgotten something. I'll catch it in a second. Will you tell your wife if you had a work wife? Okay. All right. I think she's pregnant, and is that considered a work wife? I'm not sure if she's working. Beno, you're a wala person. Wala. Ola always say, tell me more. This case shows why we need to hear more. Thank you, Chidima. Chidima, my G. Thank you so much. You deserve an applause. Where's the rest of the story? Where's the rest of the story? Okay, we need the rest of the story. Every relationship has the rest of the story. There's some principles, as I always say, there's manuals. There's some principles that are guiding principles. However, a one-liner cannot do it for anybody. Not just me, for anybody. A one-liner like, oh, you woke up at 4:50 a.m., you cook for your husband. It's like, congratulations, but what else? What else is going on? Right? What else is going on outside of the corporate, Nigeria corporations have now jumped on this trend and they are now using it to make money, right? You know what they do? That's one of the things that push us into the ditch. The corporations will basically jump on any kind of trend, regardless of what kind of damages it's creating. And, you know, because why would this possibly ever create a damage? Why would this ever create a damage? Because, like I said, just that information is applaudable, right? But, you know, there's something that we always talk about. There's 4 focus points that I always talk about here. And these are the 4 focal points. Okay, as if you're dealing with, you know, these are the 4 focal points. Friendship, sex, expectations, pride, and ego. Number 3, keep 3 in your mind as we continue this conversation. Let's keep 3 in our mind, right? Let me come back to the chat. Yes, so the ones that don't really know what feminism means. Yes, there are many slow people on the internet, women that don't know what feminism means. Just keep that at the back of your mind too. Make I tell Omo Ibo say I dey chop another woman food for work. That means you won't collect be that now. Right? Anyway, but the man came and told the wife, right? That's what you guys are saying. And told the wife there's a spoon. Extra spoon he gets from. Okay, I see. That's what I was missing earlier. If you know what things is, still don't show me. No fighting. So the early morning cooking was triggered by a fear of kayamata or not, and not love. Okay, D love is going somewhere. She's getting somewhere already, right? You see, there's many moves we can make in our relationship. I gave you about 7 of them earlier. I call them the 7 rituals, right? You definitely need to internalize what I shared on that, right? And if you notice, there's one particular one. In fact, 2 people said it's their favorite, which is the active giving, right? And there are 2. You can group the reasons why we do things in relationship into 2 different categories. You can group them into 3. You can. There's the categories. The first category is short-term benefits. The second category is long-term benefits. Okay. Most short-term benefits are driven by fear, right? So now, again, like I said, there's nothing wrong on the surface. The idea of cooking for your husband at 4:50 a.m. if you want to do it at 2 a.m. that's perfect, especially if he wants it, especially if he appreciates it, right? If he doesn't appreciate it and is the public only that's appreciating it, it's not good enough. Are you paying attention? If he doesn't appreciate that 4:50 a.m. and it's only the public that's appreciating it, it's not good enough. Okay, now we're talking about projecting. Okay, so the main theme today, projecting AF. There's a lot of projection going on in this internet streets when it comes to relationship advice. There's a reason why they wrote the book 5 Love Languages. There are actually more languages than the 5. It's just an easy way to kind of like soak it in and at least understand there's such a thing as love languages. I've heard men, black men, say, get out of here with that love language nonsense. I've heard men that are struggling with their relationships say that. I have. I promise you I have. I know what I'm talking about, right? I know what you're thinking. They're struggling in their relationship, which is the reason why they're interpreting it that way. but they are actually actively saying, I better forget that love language nonsense.
Not be juju be that.
Right? But this is what we're dealing with today. Okay? But anyway, so everyone is projecting. We're noticing a lot of projection everywhere. But let me come to the chat. So that's what D-Love is already driving at here. Like, is it because of spoon that you're cooking at 4:50 a.m. or for other reason? Is it for a short-term gain? Can you sustain this? What about long-term? Can you keep this up? Right? Let's say you become a working wife. Can you keep it up? Right? Okay, let's say you can keep it up. The people that are interpreting this on the internet, when they hear 4:50 a.m., their brain is interpreting forever. The reality of this young lady might be, hey, it's just the space where I'm at right now. I'm in love, right? But they don't have that context, and they would never have that context. But they would transfer these same expectations to their own relationship, and you know what's going to happen when they do that, right? Tell me, anybody knows what's going to happen if you transfer this to your relationship? You go collect.
Sorry.
All right, so yeah, I'm just saying, dear, easy, right? I think it's cute. That's why I say it's cute. I think it's cute that she wakes up in the morning and does. But for me to just randomly cast this on everybody and encourage you, because I know what the next question is. Ola, why are you misleading this woman? You want to discourage? No, I'm not discouraging. I know that the reality is far from your fantasy. It's not going to happen on a consistent basis. In fact, there are women right now looking at this. Oh, that's so cute. Wow, the world is in a place, like, and they're like, I want to do that, and then they will do for 2 weeks, and in real life we're kicking, and then everybody don't move on, But anyway, let's keep going. Chidima says, then don't ask for Mommy Z treatment. Men are leaders. It was the man's action that created Mommy Z's reaction. That's a good point. Wow, cool, but I do wonder if she would have received the same generosity if she said she woke up at the set time to cook for her children. I guess that one is a natural expectation. Oh yeah, that's not something you say thank you for, since she's supposed to do that anyway, right? Anyway, Obsidian says, Lola, love to join the community if you don't mind. Listen, just because you ask, okay, I'm gonna do that. I usually leave the joining till the weekend, but I'll drop the link real quickly. If you want to come in real quick and chime in on that, absolutely, why not? All right, so I just dropped the link. But what is society? Continue, wife. No one will ever bring a second spoon. Now that you're cooking your high sodium ramen, I don't think it's ramen in Nigeria. I think ramen is here, right? In the United States. Do they have ramen in Nigeria? I think that's the brand name for Indomie, right? That he can't spend 2 minutes cooking himself. What's the deal? He has to cook himself. I don't think anything's wrong with her cooking for him. I think that's a good thing, I think that's a good thing. Ola, bro, Ben's code, bro. Oga Ben's bro code is annoying sometimes. No, don't get annoyed with Rabeno. Let's see. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I missed anything. Yeah, them know well. It means they don't want to improve their relationship. Make them they play. They are also new in marriage, so honeymoon phase might be a factor. Yes, I think she said, husband, we are just married, or she said something to that effect, right? I saw that somewhere. So that would make her she should want to cook for you at 3 a.m. in the morning if she's new to all of this, if she's heads over heel and stuff like that. But we should encourage it forever. Well, no, I'm not encouraging anything that's not sustainable. How's that? Okay, I'm not encouraging that. There's a bell curve of some sort. It's gonna be a high, and there's gonna be like flat out, and then there's a flat where you might actually enjoy the rest of your life. But the way the Indomie generation brain is set up, when I say Indomie generation, or everybody on the internet, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, the way their brain is set up is unrealistic expectations everywhere. Okay, and it doesn't exist. Whatever it is fantasizing about doesn't exist. Okay. How come no women in this chat is supporting Mommy Z? That is a good question. But I saw some women. The women that were supporting her, they were also. I saw them on the internet. The women that were supporting her, they are capping.
Stop the cap.
They are capping big time. Okay. Well, I don't say that. Though some people do that. There's nobody that does that forever. Okay. Nobody. It doesn't exist. Okay. They have faces. They have moments. There are people that want to do it. They actually do it at different phases, right? In the relationship, and they encourage doing it. But if you go and look at their track record, they have shown their husband water at some point. I'm telling you, you set yourself up for failure. I'm surprised she didn't cook the lunch the day before and pack it like normal people. Someone is lying. Now, why would a person who cooked the lunch the day before and have it packed for you to easily warm, why would that person not get the same treatment, the same accolade? That is a question for every one of us, right? Why would a person who did the preparation make sure it's ready for you and you can just easily grab it from the freezer and warm it up, or warm it up at the canteen or cafeteria, microwave, right? Why would that person not get the same treatment? I'll tell you why. Because one is fantasy, the other one is reality. Anyway, Auntie Mommy Z did not work colleague the Judy Austin, her husband. Yes, I saw Summer Aku say something like that. She didn't want her husband to be Judy Austin. The only way to make sure that your husband is not Judy Austin is to work on yourself. The only way to get anything close to guaranteeing it, there's no guarantee, by the way, but the only way to get anything close to guaranteeing it is just focus on yourself and work for, like I said, active giving earlier anyway, so you'll be giving anyway, but there's also a place you overgive and the effect of it is not useful, right? So the idea of trying to manipulate situations so that people will not have bad behavior, it's not, yeah, you gotta be careful with that. That's all. Hit that like button, I beg. Thank you so much, Miss TEE. I appreciate you. It's the weekend though. Ola, snow day does not count. What do you mean? Are we in the weekend? It's weekend right now. I dropped the link. Oh, did you guys get the link? I didn't see the person. Nobody's in my studio. But yeah, it's not week. I don't really have weekends. I meant weekend for you guys. She appreciate her husband. Una think say husband material still remain for market. You're right. There's no husband material. I wonder why, Brother Ben. Why do you think Okoshi Wolode? That's a good question. Why is there no husband materials in market today? I don't have issue with 4 a.m. cooking. Natu, where have you been? I don't have issue with 4 a.m. cooking, but it is because of spoon. I won't cook bikonu. See, again, motive, purpose. You need strong purpose behind whatever you do to make it sustainable. If the purpose is short term in nature, do the math. Will it work, right? That's the part of the conversation they're not having. Now, the feminist people are dragging her because they just want to, they can't even wait to hear the whole story. They just want to drag the, no, I will never do that. Me, I like my sleep and all that. It's actually false. If you are in love with a person, you do anything. You do anything. If you're in love, if you are capable of being in love. If you're not capable of being in love, then that's where it stops. We don't have to talk about the spoon at 4 a.m. You're just not capable of being in love. I've heard women on this internet street say they cannot love a man because the man is useless for nature. Okay? So if that kind of person start to rant about this topic, I'm probably not going to engage them because they have nothing to contribute to this topic. All right? The pick-me's are saying, this is so nice. Let's go and check your track record. Are you waking up 4 a.m. every day? Right? It's not about the 4 a.m. anyway. It's really not about the 4 a.m. It's about giving to your partner, It's about giving to your partner. It's about being a helpmeet, but it's also about serving, right? But that's not any one particular event. That's not any particular time of the day. All right. There's so many things that's moving in life, and we can't just zone in on 4 a.m. and say it's about 4 a.m. It's just, if anything, it's either you have no experience or you're fantasizing about a world that simply does not exist. Okay. I live in Nigeria too. My mom does. We cook the night before for packed lunch. It makes no sense to start cooking lunch at 4:50 a.m. 0 cents. No matter. Right. So now I understand what she's saying. You don't have to lose your sleep for that. There are other solutions you can come up with that works for everyone. But if that's something you enjoy doing, by all means, knock yourself out. Here's where you go wrong. When you set that as expectations up for everybody else, that's where you go wrong. You might just be preaching that to your children as an absolute, and then they will start looking for that in the marketplace, and it really just doesn't exist. Okay. My husband is not a foodie, so anytime he asks for something and at any time he gets it, but he will never wake me up at 4 a.m. to cook. He will rather take snacks. All right. And that's a form of giving from his part. Now, if he wakes you up at 4 a.m. like, did you see your mate? What is wrong with you waking up to cook lunch for me at 4 a.m.? You know, a part of me wants to say, no man would do it. Men are not stupid like that. They won't do that. A part of me really wants to say that. But in the last few days, I've heard some shit in this internet streets, and I'm like, listen, never say never. Okay? But now, to the way I love my sleep, can't imagine waking up at 4 a.m. to make breakfast. Well, it's a matter of if you are in love. That's what it comes down to. When you are in love, you hang out at the club with that person. You hang out what's this saying I'm looking for, right? Unholy hours of the day, hanging out with this person because you just love being around them. You do things for them that you never thought you would do for a person because you're in love, right? This is where I push back against that. You can cook for somebody at 4 a.m. You can. If you feel like you will never do that, it's because you're not in that space mentally and emotionally right now. And you have the right to say that. But people that are doing that, they might, just keep in mind, they might have said that before, that I will never, until they get caught up in their emotions, and then they'll find themselves doing things. Okay. But that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a person that you started a journey together. They're so in love with you, and they're like, I find myself hanging out with you on the phone for 3 hours. I've never been on the phone for 3 hours with anybody in my life. God forbid, bad thing. But with you, I'm looking at the time, it's been 5 hours because it's emotional. Okay. That's where majority of these things fall. That's where they fall in. Okay. So it's not something you can say, I can never. Anytime you use the word never or always,
why the fuck you lying?
It's a lie. It's just a lie. It's exaggeration. Okay. You might not be aware that it's a lie. Maybe we shouldn't call it a lie. Let's call it this year one right here.
Apa, the lie.
We've all done things that we will say we will never do, because you're feeling a person like that, But the point I'm trying to make with this topic is that it's not sustainable to set that up for yourself as an expectation, and you're not helping anybody, teaching people or trying to encourage people to expect that. Even though you might think you're teaching people to do this because it's just our standards and values, what you're doing is you're setting people up with unrealistic expectations, and they will probably fall on their face. So it's like the two extreme of both sides of this conversation. Drive safe, not to. So newlywed husband too finds it cool to be collecting spoon from another woman. Another angle. Where's the rest of the story? I can't make anything out of that because that doesn't. They didn't say that's part of the story. Kemi. Chidima said another angle. Social media likes lies. That's why. Yep. And the corporations, they love it when you love it. If it's trendy, they will put money behind it just to put their product in front of it. You got to pay attention to these things. You have to, okay? You have to pay attention to these things. Ola, why did you lie? You put TB Joshua on the thumbnail and you're talking about something else, see, now marketplace, now packaging. I will still talk about TB Joshua, by the way. Let me see here. Responses to Ben. I'm not supporting her. My own thing is that I don't have any issue with someone cooking for her husband, but if her motive because of co-worker, I no go. Yeah, it's the purpose. The purpose has to be stronger than just some fictitious on the surface level so they don't take your husband. Your energy is focused in the wrong direction. They probably will end up taking your husband if you keep that up as a thing. For her, not necessarily. She's in love. She's newly wedded. Okay, so it's not really a big deal. But for those that would take that as expectations and cast it on their own relationship, every single one of them, hey, they'll collect. Well, make everybody do whatever keeps men faithful, period. No, the only thing that keeps men faithful is purpose. A man on a mission, on a purpose, it simply does not have time to disrespect himself. Okay? Now, there are environmental factors. There are factors around that can influence a certain behavior. Let's say, for example, that thing they will always say exists. Somebody just want to weaponize sex. Is it food, right? Of course, that can influence. But if it's a man on a purpose, he will probably not want to put himself in danger like that. There's a chance, okay? But everybody can be weak. Nobody's wholly past, right? But what I'm saying is that there's a less chance, okay? There are lower chance that a man will, because of that, go and cheat. Instead, he will be busy figuring out what is going on with my wife, right? Because he loves his wife. He has no reason, and he has a bigger purpose than just bekus for one day, right? But if a man is just moving around life like a lost chicken head, sex is always welcoming. It's always attractive, especially if it's new, right? New bekus, right? The only thing better than bekus is new bekus. You ever heard that saying before? But that's a man that's not on a mission, that's not on a purpose, and majority of men are like that. So that doesn't mean all men are cheating. What I'm saying is that what makes a man to not cheat is ultimately it's not another human being. He's himself. Okay? If he has a need, he has other ways. If he's a man on a purpose, a man that's identified his life mission, if he has a need, like enrara, like flesh, a need of the flesh, he has his way. He will get what he needs without putting himself in harm's way or putting his family in harm's way. All right? And it's not because he's holy. He positioned himself to not be in a place of temptation like that too. He understands that he's a human being, but he's not going to position himself in a place where he can move mad like that. So everybody should do whatever to keep their man faithful. That's not going to keep a man faithful. I'm sorry, God. I'm sorry. I've been no big quick to the talk. No, nothing get it. Cooking food in the morning cannot stop that one. Bro Ben, cooking food in the morning cannot stop that one if you are that kind of person now. But Ben, don't do me like this now. Women need to understand that a man will cheat if he wishes. You can't control him. You took it out of my mouth. Me, I don't eat some same soup 3 times a week. At least there must be 2 or 3 types of soup. All right. That also means you probably know how to prepare it. Right? Somebody just said, man of precious, no need to explain it. There is need. I make money from this. There's always need for me to explain. It's you that you don't need to shalaye. Somebody just left that comment. I see it popping up on my device here. At least there must be 2 or 3 types of soup. Yeah, that means you know how to make it happen, right? That's what that would mean, right? Well, that's what the wife is there for. Yeah, sure. If your wife is doing that, that's beautiful, right? I think if you paint that picture for other men, a lot of them are going to be, they will be trying to sit on a toilet roll, and you are there, you're just watering the toilet roll. They all will collect, all of them. Did the husband share the meal or not? That's a good question. There are so many questions, right? Both extremes are lying. Exactly, Mario. That's the point we're making here. Both extremes are lying. That's the point we're making here. Me and your sister don't fight tire. When she realized she's not gonna win, the battle madam accepted her fate. Wala. She should continue cooking, please. I support her. I also support her husband to share a cooler with his work wife and all the other things they do together. Misty said, Ola, my love got limits. Every human being's love has limits. That's why you need the GPS. God, purpose, self. Okay? God, purpose, self. The only source of unconditional love is God. And if you're going to have a long-term relationship or play marriage, you will need God. And if you're not a believer in God, just think of it as gratitude. Okay? So that's key right there. That's key. So every human being has limitations because they have expectations, you know. But I also know that that's the same reason why they get caught up in their emotions. That's the same reason why they get caught up in their emotions and they go mad. And then now they expect the other person to give back, and then they start to take, and it just doesn't work out like that, right? So sorry for my kidney today. Let me see. I have Brother Ben here. Brother Ben, Brother Ali.
Brother, how far now?
Where you did? Where you done this since now? I haven't seen you in a minute.
I cook my day. I did. Now I don't want to put mouth for TB Joshua stuff. That's why I just stay my name.
I understand. Yeah.
You know? But this one where they talk of Mommy Z and where all my sisters them, everybody just they para. They not even feel support the woman. Everybody just they complain. Why would she cook 5 a.m.? Why would she wake up 4:30 a.m.? See woman we value her husband. They do what they go make her husband happy. I don't get it. Brother, you are laughing now, brother.
No, I'm laughing now because she should do what she has to do to make her husband happy, right?
Exactly.
The only thing I disagree is that will make him faithful. I disagree. That's not necessarily true. The only thing I disagree is that will automatically make him faithful. That's not true.
Brother, some things make men faithful, but in Nigeria anyway.
Like food?
You can't tell.
Like food, like lunch food.
Brother, let's be honest about something. I'm of this opinion that when men cheat, their cheating don't necessarily make them have trouble with their wife and decide they want to leave their wife. But the moment they start eating that woman food, the woman they are cheating with, the moment they start eating from her pot, her plate.
Well, food. You're right in a sense,
the man
right?
is about to leave the wife, so.
So you're right in a sense in terms of food. If it's too comfortable just eating your food, you know, that's an indication of many other things going on already. That obviously there's attraction going on. You're sitting together, lunch every day, you're eating food. There's stuff going on there, right? I understand, but it's the stuff that's going on behind the scenes that we need to focus on, right? Not the food, right? And if it's borrowing food, spoon, right? It's not a big deal. But I think what people are saying is that if this is the reason why you started waking up, you were not a person who woke up in the first place. But this is your reason to start waking up. How long is that going to last?
You know, brother, this thing is internet stuff now. She probably just responded sarcastically to that post.
She probably did.
And then people just, you know how we men, especially Nigerian men, how we like to blow something out of proportion just because it suits our narrative. I think that's just what happened there anyway. But then, knowing full well what's going on in Nigeria, a lot of women in Nigeria are actually doing, in fact, some of them do more than what she said she's doing. Let's just be honest.
What do you mean more? Like they wake up at 2 a.m.?
Not like 2 a.m., but some of them are actually doing a lot for their husband in Nigeria.
Most women do now. The point is that it doesn't have to be 4 a.m. There are people that wake up at 10 a.m. and do more than she does that this 4 a.m. girl does for her husband. We're making the same point.
If 4 a.m. is what works in her marriage, why can't she go ahead and do it? If that's what works for her.
So we are agreeing. We are agreeing now. We are agreeing. But you said more. You just left one point to go to another point. You said there are a lot of women that are doing more. I say I agree too. But more doesn't mean it's 2 a.m. It can mean that person wake up at 7 a.m. but they actually do more in the grand scheme of things they actually
Yeah.
do more for their husband, right? So we're on the same
Yeah.
page there, you know.
Yeah.
But this see, you and I can understand that because we're seasoned. There are enough 22-year-old men that thought what you said meant 2 a.m. When you say more, they're thinking.
Oh no.
They're thinking earlier. That's what I come here to spell out. I want to spell out everything so people don't think themselves into a ditch, right?
No.
It can be
it's
2
not.
a.m. It can be 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody just have what they do to make their marriage works and all that. I see my sis, they don't they chop my yash when I said, they don't they blast me when I said I don't eat same soup 3 times in a week. And honestly, that's the
They are
way it
nice.
is
They
in
are
my
actually being nice to you. I'm even surprised they are nice to you. They love you on this platform. You don't notice? Can you try that for Bro Farm?
Chidima don't love me. Chidima is always choking my throat.
Can you try that for Bro Farm, Brother Ben?
You know me now. I will say my mind. Shebi they will not drag. They will just drag. I will say my mind.
My point is that we know they
I'll
drag here. They're very nice to you here. That's the point. But stick with me on this one because there's another topic I want us to cover together real quickly. Okay, just hang in there real quick. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I think it's the extremes that we need to be careful with and just manage your expectations. Social media rhetorics are that for a reason. Let's be careful when we're listening to any of this stuff. But my question for anybody who is watching this, give me your thoughts. You've listened to this. You're probably going to give me your thoughts without watching the whole thing. There's a lot of people in my comment right now. They watch 1 minute and they start commenting. Mad people everywhere. But it's okay. I'll take it. I'll take it, But let me know what your thoughts are about Mommy Z. Is this something you're fantasizing about or you think is your reality? Tell me, or you're somewhere in between. I want to know what you think about this. I'll be back in about 20 seconds.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Do all men cheat? I'm gonna play a small video. Do all men cheat? Why did you laugh now,
Bro?
Do all men cheat? I'm gonna play a small video from TikTok. I'll be trying to remember TikTok, but sometimes I just forget because I have stuff that I save on. There's some conversations I also store on. So Basketmouth'S wife, right? The lady right next to Basketmouth right there. She had some opinions about this. I actually shared this in the group. For those of us that are behind the scenes, if you want to join the behind the scenes conversation, you can simply join us at lolaandola.com/WhatsApp. Is on the screen right now. But I actually sometimes I drop stuff like that randomly. And she had something to say. I'm going to play the video right now and then we can talk about it.
Kind man. Because when you do, if and when he decides to marry a kind man. Because when you do, if and when he decides to cheat, unfortunately, he knows to consider you in the sense that while he's doing his shit, he will never let you find out because he knows that it will hurt you. He will never disrespect you. He will never put you in a situation or situations where you are constantly humiliated or embarrassed.
Now, in case you don't know, this is Basketmouth'S ex-wife.
Wait, before bros talk, let me repeat what she said and then we'll talk about that really quickly first before I hear what bros have to say. Let me play it again. There was a young lady who was arguing with me heavily on this on TikTok. I don't know, sometimes I just decide to engage. But she went back and forth and she agrees with her, but I don't know if you guys picked that up yet, but I'm going to play it again.
Marry a kind man. Because when you do, if and when he decides to cheat, unfortunately, he knows to consider you in the sense that While he's doing his shit, he will never let you find out because he knows that it will hurt you. He will never disrespect you. He will never put you in a situation or situations where you are constantly humiliated or embarrassed.
Now, in case you don't know, this is...
No, wait now, bros. I'm going to repeat our sentences and then we'll talk. Hold on 1 second.
Marry a kind man. Because when you do, if and when he decides to cheat, unfortunately, he knows.
Unfortunately, she added a little small caveat. Unfortunately, just to shock him, right? Just so you can, he knows
to consider you in the sense that while he's doing his shit, okay, so respect and shit in the same sentence. Let's continue. That while he's doing his shit, because he knows that it will hurt you, because he knows that it will hurt you, he will never disrespect you.
Because he knows that it will hurt you, he will never disrespect you.
He will never put you in a situation or situations where
you are constantly humiliated or embarrassed. This is a confused statement. Let's see, continue.
You are constantly humiliated or embarrassed.
Now, in case you don't know.
All right, so, Brother Ben, your thoughts? Because I know when I dropped it, you said something. I don't remember it now, but I know you said something. You were doing bro code. Me and you go compete on this bro code. I'm more bro code than you. You know that, right? You do know that, right? That I'm more bro code than you.
But you are not showing your own bro code now, brother. Your own bro code.
Because I don't like setting up my brothers for failure.
I understand as a coach, you have to be fair. But my thing is this. But here's my thing about bro code. When it comes to social platform like this, I know what the narrative is. I know what everybody expects you to say so that the conversation can be flowing. But as a podcaster myself, I'm the type that I believe in both sides of the narrative. Everybody will not agree with everybody will not agree with you 100%. So there's still gonna be like maybe 30, 40 or even 50% that don't see it from your angle. And as a host myself, I believe if we don't let that other angle, that other viewpoint that people are having about the same subject, if we don't let it play out, if we look as if we are suppressing it, and the problem will be there.
Yeah, so it will actually grow wings, even bigger wings.
Exactly. So that's why when I take the side of the men, it's not because I'm taking the side to make the women look bad. No, not at all. I'm just taking that side for women to see that there are actually some men who think along this line. And who knows, you might be living with a man who have the same set of ideology. So true. When I bring it out, my purpose of trying to play the bro code is for a knowledgeable person like you, who happen to be a relationship coach,
so you can break it down.
Exactly. So when you break it down, somebody might be lucky to hear to watch the video, and then the person will now see that, this way, the way this Ben is thinking, I think my husband is also thinking like this, and this is what Ola said.
Or I think this way, or I think this way. So I still agree with Brother Ben. I hear you. So no, you're right.
The person can now learn when they hear you break it down. So that's just my thing. It's not as if maybe I just pop up, just say broke. I'm just doing that for people to know that there are always
there's other sides to this conversation.
Yes.
Yeah. You know? I hear you. All right. Now, there's a point here that there's a lot of problems with what she said. Okay.
Yeah. So coming to the topic right here.
Right.
So, what's the first question you want me to answer right now?
Do all men cheat?
Okay, basically, I'm not going to say all men cheat. So, this is how I look at it. I believe all men have the tendencies to cheat until they are caught. So, if they haven't cheated now, that doesn't mean they may not cheat tomorrow. That's just my own thing. That's the way I see it.
Right.
If you ask me, am I cheating right now? I don't even do it. But will I cheat tomorrow? I can't tell. It only takes God's grace. It takes God's grace and some tools.
You can't tell that you won't cheat tomorrow?
I am telling you right now, as human being, I know some honesty is hard to believe. Even me and my wife, we have this conversation all the time. I will tell my wife sometimes, babe, I am faithful to you because I respect you, because I love you, because I don't want you to experience pain. But that doesn't mean that maybe I'm above sin. Something might happen at any time. The only thing is that so far so good. I have my defense mechanism. I have a way of escaping, falling into all this temptation, and it's working. And I kept it like that. I don't know if you get my point now.
I get what you said.
I work evening shift, and I'm into media production. People invite me to party or so many places.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at you. Sometimes I see comments, and it just make me.
I know.
all right. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm a kind of popular person. They invite me to parties. I do coverage myself. I do a whole lot of things at times. I work evening shift. Sometimes during weekends when I close from work around 10:30, 11, I might have it in my mind by the time I'll be closing that, you know what, make I enter guys area today. Like here in Austin, we have men hangout. Every weekend we hang out a lot, you know. Sometimes we go to clubs, sometimes we just go to somebody's house and things like that, you know. So, but sometimes when I close, and if I look at the area we have the hangout, for instance, if the hangout is in a club, I will just say to myself that, forget why go to this club, just go home straight, Jerry. I don't know if you get me now. So that when I go home, I already avoid putting myself in that environment where I might possibly be tempted. So that's why I said, we can say, all men don't cheat. My own thing as a man is this. Every man has the potential to cheat. But if they keep it clean so far, just give them credit. So that's just my take. But I'm not going to say, men cheat. If nobody caught you cheating, that means you have not cheated. That's just what it means.
all right. Let me. You said a whole lot, and the way you landed it, right? Where do I start from, man? Oh God help me,
Bro,
okay, because I need to stay on Brookwood.
Our sisters and the prestige fam, they are here. They know what I'm saying. There are many men now that some women can even swear that my husband no fit cheat, lie. You know they cheat, and then boom, the day they catch him.
But Ben, I said something a few minutes ago. I said whenever somebody say never or always, right? I was talking to Misty, I think. Whenever somebody say never or always, and I said I said it's a lie, right? I will never cheat on my wife. Okay? I will never cheat on my wife. Let me give you another example. Okay? Because you said you don't know if you will cheat tomorrow. Okay?
Yes.
Let me give you an example. 95% of businesses that start today will fail in the next 5 years. Right? Do you say, I don't know if I will fail? You don't say that now.
Bro,
you don't plan to fail.
Business is not the same thing as relationship, bro.
I'm making a point. I'm talking about the never part. Okay? I'm driving somewhere here. There's also something that I talk about here a lot, right? I talk about social skills, right? I talk about social skills. I also talk about, I've also reviewed the 48 laws of power on this platform before, right? There's something called selective honesty. Ṣé gbogbo ẹlẹ́ máa fi sọ ṣé gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo tó bá ti kọjá wájú gbogbo tí ojú bá ti rí lẹ́nu gbọ́dọ̀ sọ ni. You get me?
Yeah.
Kì í ṣe gbogbo tó jú rí àti ilé bá lẹ́nu máa sọ, kì í ṣe gbogbo bá ti cross mind. It's not everything that crosses your mind that you say out. Why? Because ẹnu lẹ bọ ṣe ti gbọ́ yẹn rí. Because tí ọ̀rọ̀ bá ti, my wife always said this, when words tó bá ti jábọ́ ẹyin ni kò ṣe é ṣàmọ́, right? You see what I'm saying? So I will never advise any of my brothers or you to ever say I don't know if I will cheat tomorrow again. Not because you are going to become a perfect human being. It's because you actually have the power to attract your reality. If you don't plan to cheat, you don't say that. You just don't say that, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you will be perfect and Kwekus cannot present itself to you on a silver platter tomorrow. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's some things that as men we always understood. These are the things we need to steal from 1960s. This is an example of something we need to steal from 1960 and before. As men, we just always knew that there's certain things that belong in barbershop, and barbershop will never be the internet. You see what I'm saying? And that's in addition to the fact that we do have the power to use our mouth to attract. And it's also attached to this topic. Because this woman is basically saying already, it's reality, or men are going to cheat anyway. That's what she's doing.
Yes,
that's precisely what she was doing.
And I remember when you posed that thing, and I said, I agree with both point of view. I think I remember in the Prestige family when I said that. When I say I agree to both point of view. You see, brother, with my own little experience in life and with relationship, I've come to realize that people who says this will never happen, they are the one who get hit by the same thing they thought it would never happen in life. For instance, I've seen women who will swear to God, my husband can never cheat on me. He can never. How? I won't take the hand. And then the husband too will present himself so humble. He will be in church. He will be the one doing the most. Everybody will say, brother, so, Dickie, so. The next thing, when alarm go blow, bam, even the woman go shock. Say, wow. At times, such men will even have kids outside. So, you see, we've spoken several times, and everybody has their approach. For instance, my own approach is, I like to face reality. When it comes to this matter we're discussing right now, I choose to believe that I am not above temptation. So,
but those are two different things, Brother Ben. Of course, no one is above temptation. Me too. No, I'm not above temptation now.
You said a man should never say he's going to cheat, and I agree with that narrative, because sometimes whatever you profess might be what will become your reality. But the way
especially when we're talking about relationships, yes,
exactly. Yeah. For me, I look at relationships from the street angle. We've seen enough stories. We've seen so many.
No, but that's not street, Brother Ben. Sorry to interject you. That's not street. The street knows that you don't say everything in public. Like, you know what I'm saying? The street knows that. The street, that's actually street that I'm telling you. Books will actually tell the truth. Just face reality. Just say it as it is. That's what book says. That's where the book is backfiring for people now. Right?
Yeah.
This is why I tell people, when you read my book, please read it 15 times, because I need you to understand it from a street standpoint. The street, you know that the street is not safe for anybody. You don't just open your mouth. You don't know what's coming around the corner. You don't come around the corner and say, so I will never cheat that I just said. If you listen to what I just said it's a lie, but I just said that's what I will keep saying.
Okay, I agree with you on that then.
But stay with me.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't know, but we don't say we don't know. We don't know that I won't cheat. Like, you say that to your wife, that's going to become 200 Nollywood movies, and the only thing she can see in her brain is how you're blowing somebody's back out. Because you said you don't know. You need to understand the power of these things beyond just whatever reality looks like in this moment. Right? Tebati sọ̀rọ̀ kan sìn. I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. 5 years into our marriage, I said, I don't have a problem with divorce, so I will just divorce. Did you know that thing did not come back to haunt me until almost 10 years later? Me, I was just being realistic, as in, like, but divorce is okay if something doesn't work out. But the human mind is such a powerful thing, it expands it. It makes it, as long as you're dealing with other humans. See, you might even be determined that it will never be me. If another human being is involved, the devil can come in from that angle. You see what I'm saying? Yes. Because it becomes fear. You see what I'm saying? There's no woman or even man, for that matter, that ever want to hear their partner say, me, I don't have a problem with divorce. So I told you now in privacy, but I told you the show that we used to do. The first day my wife said something like, she said, marriage is not a do or die. I'm like, kill me. What do you mean? You see what I'm saying? It's like, what do you mean? So So there's a reason why people that have been here for a long time will say speak positivity. There's a reason why Indomie generation say fuck that positivity stuff. They say let's stay reality. It's never always positive. Indomie generation talk like that. The ones that are wiser, that have been here before, they say focus on positivity. They know what they're talking about. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. So Odi Puju Ngoti, it's not a push against what you said. The reality is that no one is perfect, right? Mm-hmm. But a woman using her mouth to say cheating respectfully, that's an oxymoron, coexist. The fact that a person will cheat on you is not just disrespectful to you, it's disrespectful to themselves as a human being. And you have to be in a weak place as a man to find yourself cheating. Doesn't mean you cannot well at you in a weak place, right? But we need to acknowledge that it's a thing. Like if you are busy building your life, you probably will, there's a very low chance that you will have time for certain types of activities. You see what I'm saying? And also, you also know, based on Nkota and Solenko, you also know that you are a human being. You don't position yourself in a place where temptation can easily track you down because you are still going to be a human being, right? Yeah. So it's a deeper conversation, and I still think it's a terrible thing for a woman to think that she's being pragmatic and automatic collect breakfast no man sorrow, because she just went through divorce with her husband, right? She's projecting. She's projecting.
Okay, in her defense, can I say something?
Sure.
In her defense? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Now, I think what she's trying to point out, and I kind of agree with her, when she said, marry a man who is kind. I think that's how she put it.
Right.
If he is kind, he will think about you first before he cheat on you and things like that. I think she has a very valid point right there.
No, it's not a matter of valid point. That's the truth. What she said is the truth.
Okay.
But when she was explaining it, she's wrong.
Okay, if there are issues with the explanation, I quite agree.
But
I think she has a very
you
good
should
point.
marry a kind person, of course. That statement is correct by default now, right? But that's why you ask people, where's the rest of the story? When she starts to break it down, you're like, Auntie, no, that's not a kind man. Nobody will agree that's a kind man. And by the way, you're painting a picture for women that there's no such thing as a kind man. Because some women, based on their own personal interpretation, they will see that as, but that's not a kind man. Are you saying there's no kind men? And you and I know that there are kind men. You and I know there are men that will not disrespect you. Right?
Yeah, a lot of nice men out there.
But when a woman listen to her and they start looking around and they just say they're all going to cheat anyway, they don't see kindness. What do you think a woman is going to bring to the table if they don't see kindness in any man? It's a dangerous thing to say to anybody on the platform.
I think what she should have, the choice of what she should have used should have been marry a man that respects you. It's not even a matter of kindness now. A lot of men will be kind, but what if they are kind and they don't respect you? It's not the same thing. Because me, I believe that if a man respects his wife, that will help him make good decisions, even when the wife is not there. I don't want to use other people's experience. I'm just using mine. I have a business that take me out of town at least twice a month. I have to be in one state or one city where I will be there like 2-3 days, living in hotels with my guys.
Right.
And at the point, I make a lot of decisions. Sometimes I tell my guys, if we're going to do this coverage and wherever we are going, like right now we have a policy. Anywhere we are going for coverage and it's 5 hours drive. The moment the coverage is over, we are heading back home. We're not even going to hotel or something. Now, why did I put all these rules and principles in place? Is because I've seen some of my guys when we go to coverage, because I will rent hotel for them and I'll be on my own. Even some of them that are married, they still want to do wrongs, and it doesn't work well with me because I don't do it and you are doing it, and your wife or your girlfriend knows that you are with me. So somehow it makes me feel guilty. So
Right.
what I'm trying to point out is that if a man respects his wife, that respect is what determines the decision you make every time. Even when there is temptation, even when you see Bobby say, you have that feeling that, oh man, how would my wife feel if she later finds out that I do this? And I think that is coming from a place of
when you were
respect.
younger, right?
Yeah.
Have okay. When you were younger and you did something so let me not call it cheating, but you did something you wouldn't do in front of your wife, that you just don't want her to see what you're doing in that moment. Maybe you were at a club, you were talking to a girl, or you were chatting too long with a girl. If your girl was there, you wouldn't do that. You're doing something that you wouldn't do. All that, as far as I'm concerned, all of that I define as cheating personally, right?
Yes.
Now, so that's why when people say I'm not a cheater, I'm like, yeah, you're not a cheater. but all of us have done something we wouldn't do in front of our partner, right?
Exactly.
They always put it just in the box of sex,
Yeah.
and we know that that's not the reality. So when I look at that, right, if you do something like that, as you grow, do you notice that as you grow older, as a man, you do less and less of those things, whatever that is, including clubbing?
Yes.
Do you notice you do less and less of meaningless clubbing? When 20 years ago, I used to be like, what's happening tonight? I text all my boys. I was like, what's going on tonight? Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Anything going on tonight, right? That the idea of doing that dropped over time. That's what I'm talking about. When a man is on his purpose, right, which is something that tends to come with time, right, increasingly with time, right? There's no man that drops out of the skies at 21 years old and is all suddenly on his purpose. The younger you are, the more time you have for nonsense, just in general. The more nonsense you surround yourself with, the chances you're going to participate in bad behavior.
Like that alone.
You see what I'm saying? Or if you're around it's just my boys that do that, I don't do that, Loriro. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it has anything to do particularly with your lady. I think that can be an influence, but I think it's just influence. I think ultimately when a man is on his purpose, which usually means he has self-respect too, right? There's just some activities he wouldn't participate in. Natural order of things. And if he wants to force it, if he's a younger man and he wants to force it earlier on, because some people, they need to force it, then you need to engage your purpose, do some studies, engage coaching, and identify your life mission and your purpose in life. When you're engaged in that, you naturally will have very little time left, because the idle mind is the devil's playground. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think most men, if they marry, they gave you ring, they married you, in their head they respect you. But when there's spekus on a silver platter, when you are much younger, the last thing you are thinking about is the respect you have for your wife. It's just a moment.
That's what a lot of people do.
That's the reality now. I've been paroni.
Yeah.
So it's a very complex conversation, which is why I tell people, I said, don't speak negativity to yourself, because you might just attract it. And there are weird, twisted ways you will attract it. For example, you tell your mind, you conclude in your mind that there's no such thing as a kind man who also will respect you even behind your back. If you conclude that in your back, you will attract unkind men. It's very simple. Even if the man is kind, you will be gauging him up and down. You'll be sizing him up. You'll be watching if he will cheat. You will start looking over his phone. Guess what you're going to attract? You're going to make him feel uncomfortable eventually. It's energy, right? And you you will end up pushing that person away with your own hands, right? So what do we do with all of that? I think Chinye is here. Chinye, talk to me. Are you in a quiet place, Chinye?
I'm in my room. Hopefully none of my kids bust.
Oh, Chinye, what happened to this microphone the last time?
Hallelujah.
I'm at home and I'm using my phone directly. I'm not driving home or anything, or using my earpiece. I tucked my earpiece away to avoid wahala.
Lovely. Happy New Year to you, Chinye.
Same to you. Same to you. Bro Ben, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my sister Chinye.
So, what's I want to talk? You fool my mouth. Where I go start?
Okpo.
Hey,
Make her they run.
No.
back here.
Wait. What do you mean? Run, you want run where? Go where?
Because he knows he's about to come.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
I need a shorter version of that.
No, I just keep it that way. I beg.
Oh Lord.
Anywho, so where do I start? So, bro, Ben. Me, I don't like this thing you're telling your wife. Now, while you they cost so. But anyway, what I wanted to say is, I made this point in the chat, which is oftentimes our men think that they're the only ones who are being tempted. They have no idea that we have way more pressure in the temptation department than they do. How is that? Because majority of the times the men are the ones doing their
Wait, Chiye, are you trying to say women love sex too? And they get tempted by herbs and fine boy and big chest at work, and they have husband work and work husbands too? Is that what you're saying right now?
Bros, listen.
Now then get workers bad pass.
Listen. So this is what I want to say, right?
Yeah.
So when I was married, right, I remember that I was getting temptations left, right, and center. I remember very well, like I was being approached a lot by, people I don't know, by people that are married, by people that are not married, even up to the point of like when this one shook me one day, shockalized me one day. This is when I was pregnant with my second child, my daughter. I was on my way to work on the train, and like I thought it was a joke, but some dude was like toasting me, like drooling all over.
Of course.
What the hell? He was like,
even if they find out you're a married woman, they will still toast you.
He the only thing said, like, man, that the only thing that saved me is that he sees that ring on my finger, that he will have respect for it. And in my mind, I'm like, save you, kid. I beg.
He was testing it. He was like, do you even respect the ring on your finger?
No,
I kind of respect it, but if you don't respect it,
so hard. And in my head, I was really confused. I was like, with pregnancy and all. And so I'm saying all this to say that, okay, so at that time when I was married, and I had some issues with like infidelity on my ex's part, and it was, the way I found it out, it was a very hurtful, very painful. And one of the, when I was confronting him, like it took me 2 years to finally just face it head on and confront him. And when I was confronting him, I was like, listen, I gave him like different scenarios, and I'm like, do you think that you're the only one who's getting tempted out in the streets? I'm the one getting way more tempted than you are. But because of the respect that I have for my marriage and the personal decision that I took of fleeing, like, nobody can come and think that anytime you think that you have more power, or like, oh no, it's not gonna get me, that's when you will fall very deep in the pit. But fleeing, like the Bible says,
right?
Because I have that respect for my, for my marriage, and my mind already is like, not like, oh, I never know, it might happen, no.
Right.
That decision,
and then it will happen, and then you have less power to push against it.
So you have to take that personal decision.
Yeah.
And also by the grace of God, but you take that personal decision that by the grace of God, it will not happen. I'll do everything in my power, such as fleeing, not day and test and see if I go for or no go for. Fleeing, just like Bro Ben gave example, like, situations like, if I go to this environment, it might tempt me and it will put me in a position. And another example of fleeing is not even trying to collect a number. When you see a pretty woman and
what about social media handles?
Trying to get social media handles, even like DMing them.
Yeah, like giving your. Remember we covered that topic here before. So people give their social media handles, not the numbers.
Right. Well, if you know that you're the type that really engages on social media and that you will go to the DM, you might as well not do that.
Right. Or if you're selling something on social media, sure. But
yeah,
if it's private,
if you know that you always like to be sliding on people's DM, like social media handle for me, like, like we had this conversation before, and I was coming from the point, for me, it's something that isn't really like a big deal, because to me, I feel like it's distant, even though it's like a text message, but the way I handle it is like distant. But when you shed some more light on it, I thought about it a little more, because some people use it a lot, like it's text messaging or whatever. So I can see how to them not be any.
If it's a temptation, social media is the cracks in the wall.
Yeah, so you just like leave, leave, right? So I just want men to understand that they're not the only ones being tempted, and they actually, that we have more pressure on us, because we are the ones being approached, but they are the ones for the most. Not saying that they never run into a situation where a woman might push and be on their tail, but majority of the time, they're the ones doing the approaching. They're the ones that have the less pressure than we do. So they need to stop. So they need to also think about that. They need to think about that as well.
Yeah.
So, and then when Brabez said, "Oh, you should appreciate it," no, y'all should appreciate us too.
No, he said Brabez is still here. It's still wrong. Brabez said you should appreciate today. I can't promise you tomorrow. I can't promise you tomorrow. I appreciate today. I do think people should appreciate today, but context matters.
But if you come with that mindset, though, you are opening the doors of responding to a temptation one day.
Yes, and it comes from both ends. Again, like this young lady that's talking right now, she needs to go and seek healing properly first. She needs to take some time off and stop trying to teach people about relationship once you come out of a breakfast, of a premium breakfast. You need to take your time off, because everything you say is probably going to come from an extreme of that will push against the very nature of romance, which is people need to feel safe, feel loved, feel like not thinking about cheating. Right? The idea that somebody gets into a relationship is thinking about cheating is what's backfiring today. People used to, hey, I'm with this person, the last thing on my mind is that they're with somebody else. They're with me. I'm with them. That's it. Oh, but let's be realistic. They can cheat tomorrow. If you're going to think that way, it's not going to work, because the way the mind works is that you'll be looking for that cheating everywhere. You'll be looking for red flags everywhere. You will basically miss out on the whole experience. That's what's going to happen.
Dola?
Yeah.
Can I chip in something here regarding that girl's video?
Sure.
I think we should also bear in mind
before that, I'm going to let you go next. Let me play what that man said in response to her. Is that okay? And then you talk right after that.
Yes, that's fine.
Basketmouth'S ex-wife, and in this video I think she was trying to give a clue of what really happened in their marriage, but there was something that she said here that really caught my attention. A good man, even when he's cheating, will not allow you to find out, he will not allow you to know and all that. Now, women, I just want to ask a very simple question. Have we now settled with the fact that our husbands can cheat? That there is nothing wrong with a man cheating as long as he doesn't let us find out? Is this something that we have now given consent to and that we are now okay with it? I just want to know, because one thing that I have said continuously is that somehow what you build your mind upon gradually becomes your reality. Whatever it is that you permit or you are satisfied and comfortable with gradually becomes what now begins to happen to you in reality. I know many people will come to my comment section and say you cannot stop a man from cheating, a man will always cheat. But my dear ladies who are trusting God for a life partner, for a beautiful marriage, I want you not to buy this idea of settlement. Don't settle with the idea that there is nothing I can do to stop my husband from cheating. Don't pray to God for a man that is so good that even when he cheats, he will not let me find out. No. Pray for a man who will not even cheat in the first place. And even as you're opening your eyes now, looking at me like Mary, who asked the angel, how can that be? I just want to announce to you, like the angel said to her, that with God, all things are possible.
Marry a kind man. Because when you do...
All right, Brother Ben, you can go. Your turn.
Okay. I want to say I respect the young man's opinion, and like I said in our chat, I say both of them, they are right. So I respect the young man's opinion, but I think the guy don't really know much about what he's saying. I'm sorry, brother. I mean, yes, let me laugh. You're laughing. You see, you see, brother, if you happen to live in an area where we see regularly, you will truly understand me for the way I am and how I live my life. Even sometimes people see me like, this guy, you are wicked, or your mind is so strong. Here's the thing. I like to accept reality. And I like when people knows that some things have higher tendencies to happen than not happening. These people that are talking now in this video, they are in Nigeria. In Nigeria, men cheat like tomorrow, no day. Let's call it what it is. Do I support that? No. Do women say, I accept, let him just cheat? No. But here's the thing. Would you rather take your time as a woman living in Nigeria? Would you rather take your time, evaluate the man very, very well before you say, I do? Then, okay, and he's going to cheat, let him cheat. Or I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
That guy opinion is just the popular social media influencer opinion that me, I don't really buy.
Now I disagree with that. His opinion is the opposite of the social media.
Yeah, and I'm saying that for me personally, not everybody. His opinion is saying what you want your followers to hear. That is it for me. The lady that is talking right now, is that not Basketmouth'S wife?
Yes, now we said it now. That's about. She don't collect.
She lives in Nigeria.
Wait.
People in Nigeria.
She don't collect. That's why she's talking like that.
And many women don't collect for Nigeria too.
Okay.
She's not alone.
But that's not the reality of people starting a new relationship. That's her reality.
Yes, bro. Nobody start a new relationship and expect that their marriage will collapse or their marriage will crash.
Well, they will. Thanks to her, they will start now, though. No, thanks to her, they will start their relationship that way now. And you know what's going to happen, right? If they start their relationship thinking about cheating, what do you think is going to happen? It's a question.
The reality about cheating?
No, if all they are thinking about is cheating, if that preoccupies their mind when they are getting into a new relationship, what do you think is going to happen?
Why should people even think about cheating in the first place?
Because she's teaching them. She's teaching them. She said, marry a kind man. Man that will cheat with respect.
She's giving advice based on her own breakfast. She's giving advice based on her own breakfast. And I said I sympathize with her. I actually said she's right, because if a man cheats on you, and the man is doing everything to cover it up for you not to find out, I think the man is still being kind, according to her. But there are men in Nigeria now that will cheat on you and they will still tell you to your face,
that's not cheating. They're telling you. That discombobulates the meaning of cheating when they're telling you.
It's not cheating. When people say that somebody is married, slept with another woman and come out.
The moment I say I'm going to cheat on you, it is no longer cheating. I'm telling you.
Then what is it, brother?
I have a secondary person. I have a second partner. I'm doing polyandry. No, seriously, cheating means you're doing it behind them. It's a betrayal, right? Cheating, lying, stealing, they go together, right? You do it behind the person. The moment they are telling, because people are like, just cheat in peace, respectfully, like, just tell me if you're going to cheat. That is no longer cheating.
Well,
are we confused? Hold on, let me hear. Sorry, finish what you're saying. Finish what you're saying.
For me, the best thing is don't cheat. Don't even do it. I don't know. I can't stand it. I don't expect somebody to cheat on me, and I don't plan on cheating on anybody. So the best advice I can give people is don't even think about it. Just come up with mechanism to protect yourself against falling into that temptation. That's what I would say. There is no excuse to justify sleeping with someone else other than your wife or your husband, as far as I'm concerned. No. So that's it for me.
Chinye, let me hear you on this one. Oh.
Okay, so number one, there's nothing like, or oh, at least he's respectful, and he's respectful and cheated on me to cheat behind my back without disgracing me. There's this saying. Some of my Igbo sisters online might get what I'm saying. Some Anambra men will feel like, oh, when we cheat, at least we cheat respectfully. We don't do it in front of our wives. Or but the Imo brothers that they do it disrespectfully, they will just be doing it anyhow. That's nonsense.
Okay.
Cheating is cheating. You're being disrespectful. You're 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 putting me in danger. You're putting us in danger. You're opening doors to all kinds of nonsense into our marriage, all kinds of demons into our marriage, all kinds of sickness into our marriage, all kinds of affliction into our marriage, all kinds of spiritual nonsense into our marriage. And then the crazy thing is that these days men are getting upset because women no longer want to take that pain that they inflict, that the older generation took. They feel like, oh, we should stay there and take it. They feel oh, we should give them all the grace in the world, but they will not give us the atom of grace that they expect for us to give them. So if you expect that we should give you grace, that you do that, give us the same grace too. And then another thing is that men, they feel like, oh, that women handle cheat. Let me just say this, to all the men out there. This is what they feel. They feel like, oh, women take cheating well, that it doesn't hurt them as much as it hurts men. Lies. Cheating actually hurts women way more than it hurts men. It's just that for men, the way they take it is the ego thing. It affects their ego a lot. But in terms of the actual pain that as humans that women go through when their partners put them in that situation, it is extremely painful. Even more painful than a man would feel, honestly. But because women, a lot of women tend more to endure it and try to see if their marriage will work. But even in that endurance, there's still a lot of buzzwords in the marriage because that trust has been betrayed, and it's so hard to build that trust back up.
Yep, it's very hard, almost impossible.
Or even like when you build the trust, you're trying to build the trust back up, and you find out that it's person is still doing, that's even worse. So I disagree with what Ben is saying about at least if in the Nigerian society. Yeah, I know men cheat a lot in the Nigerian society.
So he's saying, let me ask you this question, Chiye. He's also saying, don't you think, and I want you to answer this question honestly, don't you think it's better that people go into it with their full chest, with knowing what the reality is? Case in point, men cheat in Nigeria, especially in Nigeria, right? What do you think about that? Do you think there's an upside to people knowing upfront, quote unquote, the reality of a woman who just collected premium breakfast?
My own thing is that yes, men cheat in Nigeria. That's the thing. But for me, if I'm to be in that society to marry, like the way I did so now, I don't want it. If I have to go in there, having the open mind that this is a possibility.
Be looking over your shoulders every minute.
No, up front, like the presentation will be, because for me now, that is something that I keep bringing up. Like, listen, this is where I stand when it comes to cheatation situation. It's something that I cannot handle. It's something that caused problems for me in the show. If you know that you are not trying to make any plans or take personal decisions, that this is what you want, that you're not going to do this, that you're going to avoid situations that you put you in this, as opposed to keeping an open mind, like, oh, well, if it happens, it happens. If you know that that's not, let's not go through this, because because
It's gonna
at the end
backfire.
of the day, I cannot take it. I'm letting you know up front now. Like, if you know in your back of your mind that, there's a possibility it can happen, as opposed to, you know what, I'm taking the decision that I will do everything in my power for it not to happen, including taking actions, including fleeing, whatever it is, that will go, then I'll move forward with that. If I find myself in Nigerian society where that might not be a possibility and the men are not thinking in that direction, maybe they will be deceitful at that moment, say, oh no, it won't happen, but in the back of his mind he's planning for it to happen. If it happens, he might not like the consequence that will come with it because he has been forewarned.
Let me ask both of you this question, right? Marriott says there is an upside to knowing before entering the union, but what do you do when it happens? She said tough. Is that something that you guys can address?
It's definitely really tough because in my own personal experience, it was something that I experienced, right? And at that time, I was...
No, not the experience. So you're talking from a place of you've experienced it now. If you are going, I know you just kind of spoke to that, but if you are going to a relationship,
right,
and God shows you this guy is going to cheat,
I'm out. If I see it coming in that, it would happen, even after all the work we're doing, even after presenting, and it shows, it will happen, I don't want to go through that because it's too painful.
Wait, how do you know it's too painful? Pretend you've never experienced it before. You don't know what's painful unless you've experienced it before. I guess it's hard for you to pretend.
So, it's kind of hard to pretend, but let me put myself in the mindset that I was in the beginning.
Right.
When I wasn't married before. Like, going into that marriage, I was one of the people that believed that, oh no, he'll never do that to me. I was one of those people that believed that, it's something that he has done as a young person, so it's been there, done that. So it's not gonna be, it's not something that he's gonna venture into because now he's matured and he's going into this marriage. But but I was naive about things because there were some things that now wouldn't go over my head, but went over my head then.
Right.
Do you understand? There were things that went over my head that if it was now, I would sniff your nyasha miles away. Right. So, and at that time, like, oh no, it won't happen to me. It won't happen to me. But to be honest, when it happens,
well, when you think it won't happen to you, or it was just the last thing on your mind, like you don't think about cheating. Period.
I really, really trusted that it was on my mind. It's definitely the last thing. It's something that coming from me would never happen from my own part.
Right.
But the other side, I also believe that his mind is the way he's operating, the way I'm operating. Do you understand?
Right.
So I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah. It's
So and then if you're in that mindset and it happens, you don't even know how you handle it.
Right.
Like you're completely thrown aback. You don't even know how you handle it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you're going and you say, if this happens, I will never take it. When it happens, like you'll be shocked. Like, you might be open to let's.
Well, here's the thing. I'm looking at Mo Fresh comment here. It says, unpopular opinion, but I do believe cheating is not a deal breaker for some women because they never leave the cheating man. When a woman,
Nigerian women is not a deal breaker.
Well, here's the thing. It is a deal breaker.
But a lot of our Nigerian women is not.
No, I'll tell you what I mean, right?
Okay.
For a lot of people that it seems on the outside like it's not a deal breaker, it's actually a deal breaker. That man is the only one that understands what is going through inside.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of our parents, the baby boomers, that are inside of marriage that they don't do anything together. They're just fulfilling all righteousness as what it looks like on the phone.
They're just living as roommates.
Yeah.
They don't even want the man to touch them again because of those things that have happened. That is so true.
Yeah. So there's a lot of those situations. So it's a deal breaker for both men and women because betrayal has entered and you can't see that person as the same person ever again. And it takes a lot, almost impossible. It's possible because there are redemption. out there, but there are redemption stories out there, but it's almost impossible, you know. But it's a deal breaker. But just because they stay in the marriage or they call it they're taking care of their children, you know, it's perspective. It's all semantics and perspective, right? Just think of it that way. As a man definitely doesn't want to be in a relationship, a marriage where he can't touch the woman. Even if he has multiple women outside, he still wants to, every time he wants to open her clothes, be able to do it now. He still wants to be able to do that now. So, and he still feels the pain of rejection, even if he's the one that committed atrocities that created in the first place. He still feels a pain of rejection. You see what I'm saying? So again, the point you just made, all valid, right? Because again, that's the point. You're in a space, in the head space, where the last thing you want is for Prophet Tibetan, to come and tell you that this man is going to cheat. That's not what you want to hear, right? If you don't want to hear, you know what you're going to tell Prophet Joshua if he comes and tell you that your man is going to cheat. You'll be like, no, he won't cheat because you're in love. You know, you just be like, no, he won't. Chinye, did you hear everything I said? I know it looked like you got bumped out.
I disconnected. I just came back. Sorry.
Yeah. I said the space of mind where you were, right, in the beginning, if Prophet Tibetan or Prophet Joshua come and tell you that this man will cheat, because of the space of head where you were, there's a chance you will say, no, he won't cheat.
That's true, actually. No.
I will fast and pray 3 days. He won't cheat.
I just see your face.
I'm trying to give you a picture of what the mind, the trick the mind plays on. We try to do this pragmatic, absolute logical thing, and we're not capable of it. That's the reality, you know. We're not, you know. But when you pass through the situation and human beings show you woto as they will, right? Then you want to re-engage, you want to engage logic at an extreme place, in an extreme way, right? Like, I'm just going to protect myself. You won't either, okay? There's healing that's necessary, because that experience will shoot you across the pond to the other side. You probably didn't touch water. You need to be inside of that water. You're all the way across the pond, and you're going to try to engage romantic relationships with this extreme pragmatic, logical, face reality thing, and romance cannot stay in that space. You literally need to be fantasizing about a world where your husband, your wife will never cheat for romance to thrive. Does that mean you don't know there's reality? You do know. But if anything you're going to do about that, you will have to basically re-engage personal self-development, right? Which is you become some of the finest human beings in the world. Some of the finest human beings in the world, which makes it unlikely that anything can potentially be better in terms of building life with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's tricky. I get it why people are confused. Like, why won't you just want to face the reality and just face it for what it is, right? Yeah. I get it. But that space, that headspace where you are in love with the person that you found brand new, what will make you want to continue to spend time with them, cannot live in the same space where somebody showed you that this person is not a perfect human being. You literally need to fantasize that they are a perfect human being. And that's a difficult thing. That's why you see everybody collecting. Brother Ben, go for it.
Yeah, brother.
Yes, sir.
So, repeat the question again.
She said I'm out. What was the question? Chinye, don't drop out again. Anyway, here's the thing. Okay, I think I was trying to paint a picture of if you like nobody's wife is perfect, right? She's back now. No, Chinye, can you remind us the question? Let me try. I think I was trying to ask the question, right? If God showed you the flaws of your wife, in the beginning, the greatest flaw you've seen in all that time that you've been with her, right? Would you go ahead, not based off of what you know right now, at that time, based off your headspace at that time, would you go ahead and be with her, or hold yourself, remain a virgin for her? Let's just pretend you're a virgin for her, right? Would you do that?
When you say flaw, we have to be specific. Is it in terms of cheating or in other areas?
The worst flaw that your wife has ever presented with. You're the only one that knows that. Now just think about it. If God has shown you that part in the beginning, back in those days in Unilag, would you move forward?
Of course. Even till tomorrow, I'll move forward.
But you're saying that you're saying that based off of what you know today. That guy back then, go back to that guy's mind back then. If you know, so that guy, connect that guy to the flaw that you've known today now. Don't connect yourself with the upside of being with her. Obviously, you're with the best woman in the world. You should feel that way, right? So, but back then, if God has shown you her greatest flaw as you know today, would you move forward? You can still feel free to say yes, by the way, if that's
of course. That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked. Did you say cheating? Because if back then, like you said, God revealed to me that, oh, this woman is going to be a serial cheater, definitely I won't. No, it's a no for me. But if you take that out, anything else, come on. Nobody is perfect for me. Shit.
So you always knew that nobody was perfect. You just always walked around like nobody is perfect. Is that what you're saying?
Bro, lad, is there any perfect person?
You're talking about now. We're in our 40s now. We're not talking about now. That guy back then. Yeah.
Of course, I don't have that understanding back then now. But I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying now.
According to the question you asked, even back then, way back then, the only thing, the biggest deal breaker for me is
your biggest nightmare,
cheating. You know, I think I share one story on your platform here about my first heartbreak and stuff like that. You know, my thing is, I don't condone cheating in any form. That's why I don't even do it myself. I've experienced heartbreaker before. Woman don't serve me hot breakfast before. So, and I know how it felt. And since then, it's never my thing or anything. So if you ask me, back then when I don't know anything, shit. But the only thing then is I don't take cheating. But right now,
so let me answer the question myself, right? If God revealed my wife's greatest flaw as I've experienced it today, 16 years later, to me when I was 24 years old, it's just impossible for me to move forward. It's just literally impossible. It's just impossible. That's why I keep telling people. I said it's not possible, because another way of asking the question is that if you're going to start a business, I know you said business is not comparable. I agree, by the way, but just any great endeavor, any highly rewarding endeavor in life, right? If God shows you every valley on that road, you will not embark on the road. It's just the reality of life. It's not a trick question. It's not a trick question. Anything that's great in life, anything that's worthwhile in life, if God shows you every nook and cranny and valleys and all the downfalls on the road and all the hurdles you have to jump through, you won't. However, right, if God puts you in an experience where you feel what it feels like to be on the other side of the road, right, you tend to be willing to go through everything if you can feel it. But the reality when it comes to relationship is you can't feel it. The only thing you can feel is today. Right now, when it comes to anything of emotions, romantic relationships, you can feel how you feel today. But Auntie Mrs. Basketmouth is going to try to dump that down for you because she wants to paint a picture of reality for you. But she cannot paint the reality of a marriage that lasts 60 years for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to be logical with this. She can paint the worst case scenario for you, which is a respectful, kind man who will cheat on you. Right? But she's not capable of painting the picture of, let's say she went through a redemption and she somehow, their story is like they ended up back together 60 years. She cannot paint that picture for you. If she can't paint that second picture for you, she's not doing you a favor by painting a picture of the worst case scenario for you. She can't. It's very, very tricky. I think we're doing ourselves a disservice by engaging, like trying to be robots, machines. We cannot be robots and machines. We need to feel and fantasize about we need all of those things.
Can I ask something real quick, brother?
Yes.
Would you give the same advice to women who lives in Nigeria and that same advice to women who live in the United States?
Yes, absolutely.
You will ask them to do the same thing.
Yeah, when you say do the same thing, can you be specific?
Based on like the topic we are discussing right now, based on what Basketmouth's wife said, and based on what everybody has said in the comment section regarding cheating, I'm just trying to make a point that the environment.
No, I didn't answer the question. Somebody answer the question. I'll answer the question, then you can go. Yes, I will advise the same thing. The human experience
that they should do the same thing.
They should go into a relationship with a plan to win. They can't go into the relationship with a plan to lose. They will literally lose immediately.
So how can they win in Nigeria? Because I'm still looking at what Basketmouth's wife said, which is the reality of women in Nigeria. That's just what I'm saying. What she said is the reality of women in Nigeria.
People cheat here too. You know that, right? You know people cheat here, right?
Of course, but here the consequences here for men is higher than what it is in Nigeria. That's
no,
the
but
point.
men cheat here. Men cheat with or without consequences. So the way it looks in Nigeria is a little bit different. People are like people encourage it. The society encourages it. So that is different. But you're also painting a picture that there are no men that don't cheat in Nigeria. I'm not asking women to go into a relationship and say that men will never cheat. What I'm telling them is to go into that relationship with a plan to win.
Exactly.
Whatever that looks like, right? Planning to lose is when you overwhelm your mind with the idea, you're fantasizing about this guy going to cheat on you. You're already shooting yourself on the legs, regardless of what we're talking about in Nigeria or not. If you go into a relationship, a romantic relationship, and all you're thinking about is how you're going to check his phone to make sure he's not cheating, auntie, you don't shoot yourself on the legs. Just don't do it. So now, how we're going to avoid that is a different conversation.
How did you know what I was going to ask you? Because the way you see, brother, that's why I say I always like reality. That's why me and many pastors of this we know they get along. I don't tell me take faith, carry weight, take faith, no go fit carry. That's just my thing. Okay, if you go into a relationship that your husband will not cheat, which we believe you are being positive. Oh, he will cheat. I will have a good one. He won't cheat on me. Okay, now he don't cheat on you. What's your plan?
We don't worry about you don't solve problems that don't exist. That's how you lose. Look at what
you know, brother, no verse. So you know, Sister Chinye mentioned this same thing here now. That when she was in relationship, she never expected that some stuff will happen. You know, that's the way it is.
But she's normal. She's a normal person for being that way. Do you get what I'm saying? The fact that she never expected that nothing crazy was going to happen is normal human behavior. But when you have been listening to Mrs. Basketmouth for too long, you become abnormal. You're going to shoot yourself on the legs.
Paranoid. That is not a good life to live. When you're paranoid, your mind is not free because you're expecting that it would happen. You're watching your back, bro. Ben, it's not a good advice. I understand that you're trying to say, because you feel like men in Nigeria cheat more than men here. I don't really think so.
No. I'm not.
It looks different.
I'm not saying men in Nigeria cheat more than here. No. But what I'm saying is here there is consequences.
Hold on. Let her finish. Sorry.
They should expect that it will happen, and if it happens in private, it's respectful. No, that's bullcrap. That's bullcrap.
You can do that, but you shoot yourself on the legs. That's what you'll be looking for everywhere. You'll find it everywhere too.
What's in the dark is gonna come to light eventually.
Yep.
Even if it's not with that person that you were cheating on her with, respectfully in quotes, it's still gonna come out. And
before you go, Brother Ben, let me ask you this question, Brother Ben. Imagine that Joe Biden the country we live in that we love so much. We're sitting in our house, internet flow now like water, and outside right now you can step outside most likely and not be afraid of anything, even in this dark, right? Imagine that Joe Biden now says, we just engaged a war in Iraq, but we need to be realistic. We're probably going to lose. Imagine that. By the way, there's a chance they might lose, but imagine if he leads with that, he says that up front.
But brother, why do people become successful when they go to war? Why did country win? How did country win wars? Is it not because they envisaged the factors that might probably led to them losing, and then they prepare ahead for it? Is that not how they get to win?
No, they win because they first have to lead the first mindset. Start with mindset first. Okay, that doesn't mean they're not facing reality, but they can't go into that war thinking that they are going to be defeated. That's what Chindima is saying. You do not go to war with the defeatist mindset, right?
I absolutely agree with
you. You will go into that relationship, you'll be playing defense all day long, and people that focus on playing defense only, they will always lose because everybody else will play, they will beat them in the tournament, they will move forward. So even if you never score on them, they will be left behind in the tournament. Do you understand my analogy?
I got you. Well, just before I leave, I just wanted to say this, Don't
leave yet, though. Why are you running?
I guess you're going to talk about TB Joshua next, and I don't want to get involved in it. That's why I'm saying.
No. Anyway. Wait.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Brother Ben, you can't go.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hey, Natu, you can't go. Let's leave the rest of this conversation right here for the other people that watch replay later on, right? And but I wanna. Yeah, go ahead, Natu. You want
Can I say something before we close this one?
Okay, yeah. All right,
so I was trying to summarize what you guys were saying. It's just like applying for school, getting admission, and like, let me just go, even though I know I will not pass or I'll get carried over.
Let me not just
class because most people get carried over. Exactly. No.
Yeah.
Do you enroll in university because you know that you're just going because you know you will not graduate? No. Even when they tell you that school people don't graduate, you'll still go because you know one of you.
Your connection.
Marriage. No. Yes.
Your connection. Stay with connection properly.
I'm driving, that's why.
You're driving. Oh, okay. We got that point. Stay with me. We got that point. But that's a good point. Any game in life that's worthwhile, you need to approach it with the mindset to win. One of the first way to approach it with the mindset to lose is to generalize and try to oversimplify very complex issues into let's just face reality. That's oversimplifying it. The reality is your reality. Your outlook on life, the way you see life is how you see it. Even when Brother Ben was giving his example, he said around me here, there's a couple of billions of people in this world. So the reality is that sometimes you have to change your circle. That could be a solution that you need. If you always look around, you look like everybody's cheating. Maybe you should look in another circle entirely. But we can talk more about that. I want to leave the rest of the conversation to the people in the chat. But
just real quick, right? Real quick. Sometimes a thief always thinks everybody is stealing. Everybody thinks that when you are a thief, you think everybody steals. Do you understand what I'm saying? I used to have one rule, and I've said it here before.
If you smoke weed, you think everybody smoke weed.
Yeah, I say I don't cheat. I don't cheat, and because I don't cheat, I have that faith, I have that belief that any man that will cheat on me, God will expose you. I will be exposing them. Let me give you one quick story. When my husband was in Nigeria, I have one phone that I used to use. So the phone fell inside water. I left the phone in Nigeria. So his phone got bad, and he's like, babe, I think I'll use that your phone. I said, no problem now. So you know when we used to use emo? Therefore, is it emo or IMO, that app? So I had IMO on that phone, but when I decided to use my IMO, and he thought that he changed the number to his number and updated everything. He didn't know that the number change did not apply. It was just his name and the profile picture that changed. So one girl just started chatting the girl back on IMO. It was showing up on my phone. I said, bros. I called him. I said, Alpha. He said, fine. I said, what did they do? He said, remember, I said, I don't tell you, say, they didn't cheat on me. I mean, you know, here. Say, why am I talking like that? I said, okay, let me tell you. I just screenshot and sent to him. Your guy just froze. Oh. Your guy just froze. I said, I don't tell you, say, God will bring his income. I don't need to search your phone. I don't have to search your phone. It will come to me. So if you are clean, no, it will come to you. You don't have to search anything.
Because you know why not to? Because a lot of this stuff is energy. But we will see it play. We will see it play out as we grow older. It is what it is, you know. But a lot of us will see it play out as we grow older. In the beginning, we just think we can carry the weight by ourselves, you know. But
you can't.
Let me do this because I ran out of time a little bit, right? And I want Brother Ben to be here for this one, right? I'm gonna ask you guys a question, and I need you guys to answer me. And that will be your last word, and we round up the show with that. But before I go into that, I don't know if Chidima, did you have something to say about this? How are you doing, Chidima? Happy New Year. Chidima, you there?
Yes, I had something to say. Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
Chidima in the studio? Is that the same Chidima, or am I dreaming?
She made her way. She made her way. Happy New Year to you, Chidima.
You don't enter today alone.
Talk to me, Chidima. Talk to me. Share something with me. You are muted, or you're muted. Is it me or she's muted? She's muted, right? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, Ola.
Yes, of course I can hear you.
Sorry, I was muted. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, hi.
Go for it.
Yola.
Hey, Happy New Year, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yes,
go
I
ahead.
had something briefly to say.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Very briefly. Okay. Earlier when Bro Ben started talking about the subject that Basketmouth'S wife said, he said something about not giving your wife a guarantee. Like you can guarantee today, but you can't guarantee the future, something like that. My question to you, Ola, from your perspective as a coach, do you think that is somewhat manipulative, where if a man or woman, whoever makes that kind of statement now cheats tomorrow, it would be like, well, I already prepared your mind, I made no guarantees to accept it. After all, I was being honest and truthful in quotes, like using honesty and truthfulness and upfrontness as a manipulative tool. What do you think about that?
Yes, I think men can be manipulative to do that, right? But usually that's that man that don't collect auto, who doesn't care at all about that relationship too, right? I think majority of people that may say this on a big platform like this are actually people that won't cheat. I think people in their private life that will say something like that is a person that doesn't really care about that relationship. They probably have been caught a few times. They are a serial cheater, and he just caught himself in like, "Shebi, they told you should know what you've been facing since now." They might use that as a boju type of just to get away with that, you know. So yes, you could say that. You could say that, you know. Go ahead, brother.
Sister Chidima, in fact, brother,
yeah,
my respect for you had just moved from 100 to 1,000 now.
Why? What did I say that makes so much sense?
No, you know, I told you something when we start interacting, when I was following your program. I said you have wisdom, and I respect your wisdom a lot regarding what you're doing as a coach. You said something right now that people might not catch it, but I catch it. You said most men that will come to a public platform like this and say something like this are actually men that will not cheat. I caught it. Because the reality is this. I'm not trying to praise myself or something. I've been in this US now with my wife 11 years. I have never stepped out once. It never even occurred to me. It has never been not even day. You see? It's not my thing. Like, my wife self don't even have any reason to even...
Don't do that. Why are you running? Where did it go? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you a lot, but I'm anymore.
Oh, God. And I need him to hear what I was going to say next. I was going to drag him small next. But Ben, you did there. Why now? You're muted, though. No, it's not muted. It's probably just disconnected. It's probably Kenny. Anyway, what I was gonna say is this: like, there are also a lot of men that will say this on the big platform. They are not necessarily cheaters, but they are fantasizing about maybe one day they will have the full chance to do it. There are also some people like that, you know. But they are not. They are men that don't necessarily. They don't cheat. It's not really their. It's not their lifestyle. But they've. Okay, it's back now. But I bet you did it.
Yeah, sorry, brother. My daughter called me. Sorry.
Okay.
So real quick, what I'm saying is that I've never cheated. I don't even have any plan or anything. My wife don't even have any reason to be worried about that because she more or less knows me, how I do my thing, and I'm a straightforward kind of person. The reason why I said that, and even me and my wife, we joke a lot. Sometimes you go even tell me, say, as you see me now, when I they come out, I they go find my boyfriend, I will say, bye-bye, go find your boyfriend. May they even go carry you, pay me money, if I agree, you know? Right. We talks like that a lot. But my thing is this, I'm the type that I don't have time to be going back and forth with people. If we are having issue or anything, I will just tell you straight up, what I will do if we can't find a common ground. That is just me. So anytime we have to talk about cheating or something, I know the woman that I married. For instance, I know that if I dare cheat on my wife, if she not find out, I'm lucky. But the day she find out, I know that's the day our wedding is over. That's the type of person she is.
Really? She won't give you a second chance?
No.
She won't try to find out what is it that will be missing. What is it? What did I miss? Or anything? She won't do that.
Because she's a very emotional person.
Are you saying you don't cheat because of fear? You're afraid that?
No, it's not fear. It's not fear. It's not fear that I don't cheat. My reason for not cheating is because I felt that I don't need the extra baggages that come with it. Bro, like cheating no day easy. Let's call it what it is. I just don't have time for that.
Cheating is easy for some people. Some people have options like that.
Well,
women are throwing themselves at them all the time.
Those way we do. And for me, I'm not the type. You can't tell me one thing and I can't reply. Or you catch me, I can't begin to do like no, it's not my thing. So I can get home now, throw my phone anywhere. My wife have literally went to work with my phone for a whole day. Just because her phone was faulty. I don't have time for those, but it's not because of fear or anything. It's because I don't want to dish out what I can't take. Sure, you feel me? So
let me ask you this last question before we move on to the next. Okay, let me use another pastor because I know you're not comfortable with this name. How easy do you think cheating is for Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo in Koza in Abuja? Do you know who that is?
Yes, I know him. I don't know him personally.
How easy do you think cheating is for him, for someone like him?
I don't know him personally, but I think in the position he occupies,
the status now.
With that status, there are even gonna be women who will be throwing themselves at him. But I don't know how easily he does that, you know. But I know, being that famous pastor, handsome, rich, all that. Temptation
prayerful, speak the word, speak power. Women love that thing. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. But anyway, let's move on to, what I was going to tell you is this, right? There are also men, there's a lot of men, if you go in the manosphere, you see them. They jump on this kind of platform. They talk this tough thing, masculine thing all the time, but they actually don't have the options to cheat. So that's why it might be easier for someone to answer Chidima's question. It might be easy for some people to run their mouth like that on the internet, but they're fantasizing about the idea of having such options in the future. But they probably won't be able to exercise this anyway, So, but that's another angle to it. But it's a complex conversation. I get it. Cheating is always a sensitive thing. But I have one question for all of our way day here to finish the show with. Let me just end this section and then we'll get right back into it. I'll be back in 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Where's my stuff? Okay.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right. So, I have 10 reasons why DNA may be needed for Ajoke TB Joshua. All right. But majority of the reasons that have been seen, if you don't know who Ajoke TB Joshua is this young lady who's been going viral for about I don't know for a few days now, along with her father. yesterday they released a video to prove that she's not. They try to prove that she's not the father, but we debunked that this video proved that he's the father. We went over that. Now, I've seen a few people talking about DNA. As you know, Nigerians are obsessed with the idea of DNA test. Nigerians are generally obsessed with technology. Anytime they find out a new technology, they think it's the answers to everything. You know, but the reality is that even this computer way we use right now, it's not the answer to everything. There's sometimes you need to throw the computer away and get some stuff done, right? But Nigerians seems to think that any family matter. Hold on one second. They still think that it's a DNA. So I have 10 reasons. But I bet yesterday, if you're not comfortable, just tell me, right? He said you don't think there's a DNA, and then he now said I think there's a need for DNA. So I want you to tell me, if you can. If you're not comfortable, that's fine. Why you think there's a need for DNA, and then that will be your last word. You know, and then we'll continue the show another day. And then I want to go around the panels, and then I'll give my 10 reasons, and then we'll see if your reason fits into that after the fact. But let's start with you, Brother Ben, first, since I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Why do you think there's a need for DNA for Ajoke, TB Joshua?
The TB Joshua girl.
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, I actually listened all through yesterday where you were handling that topic, but I just don't want to comment or something. For me, the reason that we need DNA is this. If we have to go by what it means to be a father, it doesn't matter if you adopt any girl, any boy, they become your daughter, your son, and that's it, legally. But because of the controversy surrounding this TB Joshua issue with this particular lady, you know, and I know a lot of people, especially the disciples, they want to rubbish the lady. They want to like kind of downplay everything the lady is saying, just claiming that, oh, it's not his biological daughter, blah, blah, blah. But for me, let us establish this thing first. Biological or not, do a DNA. If the DNA comes out and says Ajoke is not his biological daughter, then we are cleared on that. We can now start talking about adoption. But to me, not doing DNA is covering up whatever happened, because this guy look like TB Joshua. The resemblance is there. And there is possibility that she can actually be his biological daughter. With all those watch nights they were doing then when he was starting. And remember also from the interview, everybody was just painting how TB Joshua treated the guy bad and all that. And I catch where they said that of all the children they used to bring around, TB Joshua particularly treated this guy differently in terms of caring for her, everything. Which points to that there might possibly be a proof, or TB Joshua himself might know that maybe he is the father of the girl biologically. And that is why he's giving her that special preferential treatment. But because of all the controversy surrounding it, my own thing is, whether it's Mohbad, whether it's TB Joshua, once arguments start like this, let's go the first route, do DNA to clear that biological connection first. Then we can now come to adoption. Because in Nigeria, they don't understand that when you adopt a child, it becomes your child. It doesn't matter whether now Yibo or whatever color the child be. They don't get that. But because of people trying to defend TB Joshua and those that they were claiming they are trying to pull him down, let us establish the fact that he is not promiscuous. He was not sleeping around to the point whereby they have to bring a daughter to his church and left her there. I don't know if I'm making sense to you, but that is the way it is to me. Let's clear it first so that we can establish at least this man of God, though, like they say, he is not promiscuous. He wasn't sleeping around. And I think the church don't want to go the DNA route, because if DNA established that Ajoke is TB Joshua's biological daughter, that means all those ladies that are accusing him of sleeping with them, they are right. It will just confirm that whatever they say about him that he is doing behind closed door, he is actually doing it. So I think because the church don't want that to come out, that's why they're not discussing DNA. That's my opinion.
Okay, all right, great. Let's move on to Chinye. Chinye, you did there. Chinye, your microphone is not connected. Chinye, come back in. Let's go to Natu. Natu, you did it.
Hey, I'm here. So I think I agree with Brother Ben on this.
Okay.
And because Nigerians who have like that habit, let's talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger. When he had his son around him for that long, and people didn't know that it was his son, but he was showing the nanny care, supporting her and her son, but he was basically reaching out to his son. You understand what I'm saying? So the whole story going around now, that'll be one of the things to clear the air. But like Brother Ben said, the church might want to say no because they don't want to open a can of worms. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if there's a DNA and it comes out positive, that will kind of like justify a lot of the women's statement, and then they'll start digging deeper towards that. And they don't want to dig deeper because the guy is no longer. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for me, I would say yes. Because we have a lot of people in Nigeria that don't have kids around them that would say it's family's child, it's this and that, but it's end up being their own kids. And they're taking care of their own kid, but they don't even know it's their own kids. So if they do DNA for Nigeria,
all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Natu. Thank you to Brother Ben. I'm just gonna drop you guys off so I can run off the show. We might do a panelist show during the weekend, so look out for that. Oh yeah, say fine to Natu. She wants to hear you.
I'm doing well. Hey sis.
Hi Natu.
Happy New Year. Hi. I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay.
All right, good. So
Ola, please let me ask you. Ola, let me ask you, please.
Yeah.
This DNA, how they want take do them? They go exhume somebody from grave. Abi how they want take do the DNA?
They'll take the siblings. Maybe take the siblings.
And they go really subject themselves with this girl. So.
Well, anyway, do you think? Let's go with you. Do you think there's a need for DNA? And okay, why not?
No, my own is the practicability of it. Like, do you think his claimed children he had with Mama Sarah, whatever I forget his wife's name, will really agree to do the Evelyn? Sorry. Will agree to do DNA test this Ajoke of a girl. Let's be real. I don't.
Brola.
Yeah.
If I can answer Madam my sister question. Look, it's because Ajoke don't have a strong person behind her. If there is a strong person to back her up, if she sue them, they will be compelled to do the DNA by fire by force.
So you think the DNA is in favor of Ajoke, basically? That's what you're saying.
Yes, that is why they don't want to go that route at all. It's in favor of Ajoke. Look at the guy's face. Look at TB Joshua now. But we know that the guy too resembles.
Somebody says that she has a bigger nose, but I don't know how good.
Of course, everything will not be equal. Something there will be a variation, but she looks a lot like her father. Like, well, let me not say like her father, but she looks a lot like him.
Thank you. She looks so much like him.
Right.
And let me say
why can't you say that's father? The father said I adopted. Why can't you say father?
Even if quote unquote he adopted her,
you
adopted still calls you father.
His father now,
everything.
All of the disciples are calling him daddy. Why can't he call? Why can't she call? Anyway, he said what?
Is it legal adoption? Can we say adoption paper?
Yes, it's legal adoption.
It's legal. It's legal. You raise that child. You use your mouth to say police was involved. That's as legal as they get in Nigeria. But
in Nigeria, sure.
Yeah. Here, if it's not legal adoption, you might be crossing the line into kidnapping. Now, why would you have babies that you don't have legal papers for? There's also something called foster parenting and stuff, but. But anyway, that one is illegal because the side of TB Joshua is also asking it's not legal adoption. They're all using the same arguments to fight each other on all sides.
And what they're saying is even opening their nyashes more.
It's just making it worse.
Brola, the church will fight tooth and nail. That DNA, they will never let them do it. They will never let them do. Even the mommy Gio, the wife, she will go to all lengths to block it. It will never happen. Maybe we just leave the matter. The thing is too messy, I beg. Man,
Yeah.
it's too messy.
It's lot to say. Nope, it was not legal. Can you please explain what you mean by it was not legal? Legal is not 1 and 0. Just so you know, legal is also very fluid in nature. But let me know why you think it's not legal. But one thing I know is that the whole church is calling him daddy. I think this girl has the right to call him daddy, but that's a different topic. Let me share. Before I go, Chinye, do you want to tell me your stance on this? Do they need a DNA, and why do you think they need a DNA?
To be honest, whether they do a DNA or not, I still see him as his father, as her father, because he adopted her, or he took care of her as a baby all the way till, when they had the fracas and he let her go. So whether they did the test or not, he still was a father to her, period. So all this gra they're doing, I mean, it's nonsense. But the DNA will just prove what she's saying. The DNA will just
we work in our favor, just like that video yesterday worked in our favor.
Right. That's all. It might give her peace of mind, like say, well, see, I told you guys I'm not lying or whatever. But that's basically what it would prove. But at the end of the day, whether there's a DNA or not, to me, he was still her father.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Anyway, let me drop this and I'll get your last words. I know I did say last word, but let me drop this really quickly. These are the viable reasons why any kind of DNA test will be possible. Okay, people can desire what they want, but the reality is that there are real reasons, viable reasons, economical reasons, resourceful reasons why people demand DNA, and that's what it comes down to. And we have to be aware of that when we're demanding for some of these things. Some people, you will find one, whatever your sentiment is, right? Latu says there are no legal papers here, but that's not the only thing that creates legality. I think that's where we disagree. It's the only thing. Like, for example, I'll give you an example in real estate. If you sit on that land for 20 years, once it's over 20 years, nobody can claim the land anymore. You legally own it now. All right, so it's not just paperwork that becomes legalities, just as a food for thought. But we don't know. The number 10 reasons in inheritance. If there's a question of inheritance, that will be a viable reason to ask for DNA. That's number 10 reason. I'm counting down. The number 9th reason would be if there's some kind of child support arrears, questions. These are the things that will create questions that will warrant the need for a DNA. These are the reasons that will make somebody want to pay for the test. The test is not free either. All right. These are the reasons that will make somebody want to go through the test. Now, in addition, it's not enough that you want to pay for the test. Whoever they are grabbing samples from has to be willing. You can force them if there is a criminal investigation or the state is involved. But if the state is not involved, you can't force them. If it's a child support situation, the state is automatically, counties become involved and stuff because there's a child that needs to be protected. Number 8, social security benefit for obvious reason. We're talking about money now, right? Money. There must be some reason that's attached to some kind of money before you can probably get away with it. Number 7, okay, if your reasons does not fall in this category, there's a good chance you're just speaking out of a place of purely emotions, which is actually one of the reasons, but you have to pay for it, and then you will need the other people with the samples to agree to it, right? So number 7 is life insurance claims, very similar to social, it's some type of benefit, right? Financial benefit, right? Number 6 would be immigration opportunity. Why? Because resources are involved. You're going to enter somebody's country and use their resources. They want to vet, right? It just makes sense, right? So even at that, they might ask you to go and pay for the DNA test yourself, right? And obviously, a person will be willing to because they want to right? That will be something to pay attention to. All right. Number 5. I'm just flying through this because I need to end the show. Then I'll take your last words and I will end the show. Number 5 is medical history, and not just the history, but there's some kind of risk involved. Medical risk involved or something like that. Number 5. That'll be a reason. So I don't know if you found your reasons in this yet, or you can fit it somewhere. It doesn't have to be exact, right? But if you can fit it somewhere, then you might have a case for DNA, right? Number 4 is personal identity, meaning you personally, you need some kind of, like this something that happened to Kirk Franklin. It's a question that he had for the longest, right? And he happened to find a father who was open to, they didn't have any ulterior motive. There was nothing to hide. That was the reason why they did that. Number 3, personal emotional closure. A lot of the sentiments on the internet space with regards to this probably fall under this category, with the exception of one word: personal. It's not personal. This is just their fantasy on what they think. If it was personal, you can ask for it, but you will need, again, the people with the samples, you will need them involved. You will need them to agree. If it's that person, I say, yeah, I'm open, I want it. But if they have ulterior motives, like for example what Brother Ben was saying, that I don't want them to find out that I've been dirty all along, then it can't be done. Resolving personal doubts, kind of similar to the personal identity thing, but it's a doubt. You're already in a relationship with that person, but you have doubts that maybe this is your person or not, or you're connected biologically. In this case, we don't have that doubt because this man actually admitted that I adopted this child, and it is what it is. We have to take that as what it's worth. It doesn't even matter. She's 28 years old, right? That's another angle. Number 1, legal requirement. If there's some kind of legal requirement, like a criminal situation, there's a question involved, there's a case going on, you got subpoenaed, you have to deliver, If your reasons cannot fit into any one of these ones, we're just fantasizing, So now, in terms of this particular situation, I think it's more so, this was not a question at all. The real question is that, was this man clean? That's the question that everybody is fighting for. I don't know. Nobody knows. But somehow, some people are claiming that they know. Somebody said in our chat, they said I should pray to God to open my spiritual eyes so I will know. Let me get your last words, ladies and gentlemen. Let's end the show. I don't see Natu anymore. Let's go with Chidima first. Chidima, what's your thoughts? So we can end.
On what matter specifically?
What are your thoughts about
on
this
what
issue?
Specifically on?
The DNA.
Oh, the DNA. Well,
you already said there's no need, right? You just said there's no need, right?
Yeah, especially because I don't see how practical it is to get it done. Yeah. All right, good. Thank you so much, Chidima. Thank you for coming up today. Don't be a stranger. Thank you.
All right.
Chidima.
Yeah.
Your best friend.
But Ben, let's go with you last. Let's go with you first, Jerry. What are your thoughts based off of this? Where will your own reason fit in all of this?
For the DNA stuff?
Yeah.
Just to clear the man's name, I'm not a member of synagogue church, but I do respect spirituality.
The anointed. Touched not by anointed.
Yes, let's use Nigerian terms.
It was obvious when you said you're not comfortable, right? That's what you were doing, right?
No. It's not. I don't really care much about TB Joshua and everything. I have no affiliation with him or anything.
No, of course you don't care about, but you care about touch not my anointed, though.
No, I don't do that stupid Nigerian touch not my anointed thing. I don't do that also. Yeah, my own thing is the reason why I don't get involved is because my opinion might be too kind of uncomfortable for people. So that's why I just stay. Yeah, that's why I just stay away from it. Like this DNA thing we are talking about now. If you ask me, let them do DNA. If you do DNA, it will exonerate the man's name first. You feel me? So all this insinuation, maybe not. We will clear that up first. That okay, he actually adopted this girl. He is not the girl's biological daughter, and that will also counter the documentary where the picture painted was like, oh, he impregnated the mom probably dropped her, and then when he saw the girl, he knew that this is his blood. That is why he treated the girl different. I don't know if you get what I'm saying here.
I get that, but it's not, that was never been the question. I don't think anybody asked that question.
Oh,
if it was biological or not.
People really have that question. Where if you go to the
people that are not personal, the people that are not personal,
if you read the comments under the documentary, you will see it there. So my thing is, first do DNA.
But Ben, before you continue, Ben,
yeah.
The problem with what you just said is that it's not personal. That's the public asking that question. At the personal level, nobody is asking that question. Do you agree?
I agree whatever they are saying. That's their whatever they want to do. I'm just giving my own opinion that
I know now.
Take for instance, yeah, what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Look,
okay.
It's because our people they like to cover nonsense up. If I'm part of the disciple or whatever they call the wise men, wise women right now, I will tell them, let us get this girl and get one of TB Joshua biological daughter. Let's have a DNA to clear that aspect out. You know, you've said it over and over again. All the allegations they have in that documentary, the church supposed to be working towards clearing the man's name, not bringing one video or
but you know what they're doing
or something.
You know what they're doing? They are using the paternity. They even got us. They're using the paternity thing to distract us from the actual allegations.
Exactly. There are critical.
But you are asking them to do DNA now. But you're asking them to do DNA. That's a distraction now.
It's not a distraction. I'm telling you that for me, you asked me a question about DNA. You didn't ask me a question about the rest. And I say for the DNA part, my stand is do a DNA to exonerate your daddy Gio first. Okay, when you do that, it clears all doubt. It creates room for people to actually now start doubting what people were saying in the documentary, and then you move on to the next concrete one. Okay, look at that lady that came in the documentary and said she was the one that was sent to be bribing all the family of the people that lost their life in the collapsed building. Why don't the church come out and at least counter that first? There are just so many things. The lady that says she's gay and then she got there hoping to be delivered and then they start doing shakamanji on her. Why don't you come up with tangible explanation to tell people what's going on? That's just my standard. For this DNA aspect, do DNA, clear the man first. You move on to the next one. Not be... I saw the video where you were playing yesterday now. All those cut and join video they are playing.
That one.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah. All right, bros. We'll talk soon, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Tiye, talk to me.
Yes, so, well, this one, to be honest. I'm tired. It's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
In terms of the DNA, if you ask me what do I think about it, I feel like if they were to do it, the church probably wouldn't want them to do it because they might, if it's positive, then it will open a whole can of worms, and they might start coming after all those things that you mentioned. You know, she might, start, coming after like stuff like, okay, since I'm biologically his child, I also deserve whatever inheritance he might have. I might, also deserve, whatever. So, but at least it would give her, in as much as she's believing that it's her father based on whatever her mom might have told her, it would at least give her that assurance or that closure, whether it is or it's not. But like Chidinma said, the practical aspect of it, they're probably not going to allow any of the children.
There is no mom. She was adopted at 5 months.
Oh, when I say mom, I'm saying, was there not a woman? Was there not a rumor that there was the woman that gave birth to her came to the church later on?
Yeah, they haven't found that person since then. Since there's more allegations that she might have been gotten rid of. They don't know where she's at. She has no relationship with her mom outside of Mama Evelyn.
Okay. Yeah, it's just so too messy, man. But
It's a lot.
if it's something that if the church is so positive that it's not his biological daughter, then there shouldn't be any hold back. You know. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Inyet.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk soon. All right, let's round up the show. I gave you the 10 reasons. None of those reasons can happen outside of a personal involvement. So people's comments on social media is essentially useless. It's useful for people like us who are content creators. We like the comments. It is what it is, But in terms of the actual case, God forbid you find yourself in this kind of situation, you can't just demand DNA from people you have no relationship with or people that have no financial interest in your resources. You can't just do that. It's only Nigerians that literally do that on the internet. They're doing it with the Mohbad case. They're doing it in this kind of case. I think the DNA conversation is a complete distraction because the question of paternity has never happened. The question of personal conduct is what was being asked. Okay, the question that they are asking has nothing to do with paternity. The only thing they mention is that this is his daughter. He's agreed that this is my daughter in a video that they put out to try to disclaim the claims. So that question is answered. That question is answered. The DNA is a distraction at this point. If in case at the point the lady thinks she's entitled to, and they don't even need a DNA test. The fact that there's a video out there floating around with TB Joshua agreeing that he adopted this child at 5 months is all they need for her to be able to make claims to all of those properties. Okay, that's all they need. The DNA does not answer any existing questions, any valid question. It doesn't. Biological, it's not relevant. Okay. It's not relevant. That's just the reality. It's not. Okay? Because she never said. Now, somebody said defamation. Somebody was literally yelling out their voice earlier on that they can file defamation against BBC for saying father-daughter. That is a person that thinks it has to be biological before you can be father. No, it doesn't have to be. This is the real world. That's your fantasy. Okay? Blood is thicker than water, yes, in your head. Okay, and there is a fact about 20 to 40% of our behavior is composed of genetic stuff. But where's the rest of the 100%? Your surrounding, how you were raised. 60% other factors. How you were raised, the skill set of the parent that raised you. Right? Their awareness of how life actually works. So it's true. There's some but there's a whole 60% other factors of what makes that up. So again, if that's not an existing question, it's basically useless. We can't be answering questions that is not being asked by the people that are directly involved. The public asking the question is useless unless we're talking about some kind of criminal behavior that has been proven. There's no criminal case against TB Joshua. It's no longer here. So it's not valid. The church would never do a DNA in case she turns out to be the daughter. She is the daughter, Joy. You mean in case she turns out to be a biological daughter? You have to spell it out for Nigerians. DNA is just a distraction in this case. More fresh. True. Well done, panel. Well done to the panel. Shout out to all the panel. I appreciate you guys always. We had fun, learned a lot. Yeah, it's just something, just rub minds. There's nobody that's absolutely correct. Just rubbing minds. Nigerians, black men in general, across the board, they just want to move. Black men, including the women too, by the way. Because we don't behave a certain way unless you're an Ebuwe, by the way. They just want to continue to fantasize about the past. And the world is going to move forward. You can call it devolution if you want. But the direction we're moving, we are more aware and more people are aware. And it is what it is, So I want to say thank you for everybody that came by. I appreciate you. I'm going to rest very well this weekend. I might do one show, like a panel calling pop-up show type of thing. I can't promise you tomorrow, like Brother Ben, that there won't be a trendy stuff that we need to discuss. All right, but for now, just know that I'll be dropping videos throughout the course of the weekend, and hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.